the Festivus for the rest of us. Merry Christmas, folks. Danoby2 here. Hey, Christmas Day, huh? Right? Hopefully, Christmas was enjoyable, pleasurable, excitable, all of the above. Hey, I had my Christmas. I wanted to spend some time with you, wonderful folks, on this Christmas edition evening run. Yeah, yeah. See what type of adventures are happening on the chats over here. Uh, Evening run starts at 8:15 Pacific time, and the first person that checks in is what do we have here? Babar Khan. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hey, I think you are brand new, aren't you, Babar? Where in the world are you checking in from? I'm kind of curious now. Well, the Collector, 11:15 p.m. New York. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Merry Christmas, folks. Shelf scenes. I love the Nomi class. Don't forget to hit the like button and get on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bob Dylan checking in from the Eastern Coast, 11:15. Welcome, welcome. Funky Cold Santa, Dallas, Texas. It's 10:15. Merry Christmas. Well, welcome, welcome. This will be fun. A little Christmas edition adventure, maybe even a Christmas miracle. Who knows? Anything is possible tonight. It's the whole idea, as long as you believe, right? You know what I forgot to bring? A cup of hot cocoa, some marshmallows. Kind of getting to the festive season of the day. What do you got? Brian Richard, Beaumont, Texas, 10:16 p.m. Thank you for joining in. Junkertown, Braden, very nice. Overwatch, 3:15 p.m. The day after Christmas. So you are in the future, aren't you, Braden? Cool. It's Monday for you then. Charlotte, North Carolina, 11:16. Can't wait for the Hot Toys announcements. Who knows? Maybe we will get some hot. See, I wasn't sure. I was debating on whether or not to start the evening run a little bit later, probably like around 9 or 10 o'clock. And I was like, well, is Hot Toys open tomorrow? I mean, it's technically Monday. Are they going to make any reveals, announcements? I wasn't too sure. But the whole idea of the evening run was to kind of spend Christmas with you wonderful folks in the Pacific, Central, Mountain, Eastern, just to see what's going on, just kind of like an open discussion, uh, seeing how 2022 has treated you wonderful folks. Big brother checking in from China, 12:16 lunchtime. Very cool, very cool. Here we go. What's this one here? Checking in from Havasu. Picked up Bo-Katan, Black Widow, Armored Batman as a Christmas present for myself. What are your final purchases for the year? Armored Batman. Huh? Be more specific on that. There's been several versions of the Armored Batman, and you didn't have a suit. Where's apologies? I have no idea. Where's Havasu and the time? OG Mando, Texas, 10:16 p.m. What up, everyone? And Danoby2. Merry Christmas. I'll pretend I didn't notice your spell, but it's Christmas, right? My heart has grown 2 sizes big, so I have to be good, right? It's going to be a good, wonderful, cheerful Christmas. Christmas. I'm going to do my best, folks. I really am. I'm going to do my darnest here. Ganesh Paramanand, checking in from Melbourne, Australia, 3:17 p.m. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Danoby2. Thank you so much, Ganesh. And same thing for you. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Hmm? Christian Detour Collection. What's up, guys? Punching in Korea, 1:17 p.m. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, no. Ash Chase. Christmas sucked. Oh, I am sorry to hear that. It's not cool. Not everybody's Christmas can always come out right or good. There's no such thing as a perfect Christmas, but for me in Christmas, it's more of just trying to survive the holidays without getting somebody pissed off, angry. I try to keep the peace. I try to keep my mouth shut when the relatives and family and when they're over. And I'm always 100% grateful as to the wonderful gifts that I receive, and hopefully the gifts that I share out with the family, they enjoy it, even though their faces tend to say something different. Johnny, where are you checking in from? Ant-Man, Merry Christmas, Danoby. Thank you, thank you. And here we go. Electric Collector. Hello, Illinois, 10:18 p.m. Really enjoy the run. Thank you so much. I think you're brand new. I don't think I've ever seen your name here joining. Thank you for joining on a Christmas evening run. We're going to talk about a few items, a couple of knickknacks, maybe some hot toys, action figures, discounts, coupons. How far behind most of us are as far as collecting goes. Crossbow, Danoby2 and fan collectors. Merry Christmas from Westchester, New York. Very nice. 11:19 p.m. Thank you for joining. Miles Morales checking in from Singapore. Miles Morales, hello. Merry Christmas. 12:20 p.m. from Singapore. Miles, since you're in Singapore, you mind swinging by the Maju Case warehouse and seeing what's up? I promise to be good. It's Christmas. I'm no drama. But if you happen to be in the area, Miles, and you know where my order is, it truly would be a Christmas miracle. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm trying, this is a sweater, Christmas, trying to keep it up. Right? Checking in, Mr. Mom's Collectibles, checking in from New Jersey, 11:19. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much. So, thank you, Mr. Moms. I hope you and your family had a fantastic Ecto-1 Christmas. Absolutely. John Havana, Merry Christmas from Boston. Very nice. And 11:15 p.m. over there. Very nice. Merry Christmas from Alberta. Oh, Danny G, I don't think I've seen you before on one of my evening runs here, have I? Merry Christmas from Alberta, Canada. That's where Wolverine is from, right? I know that much. Yeah, I know that much. Chile, Florida. I'm assuming you meant to say Florida is chilly because Florida right now is going through, what is it, like a snow bomb? Well, not a snow bomb, more like an Arctic blast. Like it drops to the high 30s or low 40s at night. Yeah, with all that humidity, Florida is not having a good December, and I think Texas doing the rolling blackouts again? Are they not? Is ERCOT not able to keep the heat on for you folks out in the Midwest? That sucks. Thoughts and prayers. All right. Lab the Santa Claus. Thank you so much. I don't think these are clones though. It's Christmas. I would deduct points off. These aren't clones, right? These aren't. What do we have here? Leighton Richards. What's up, Danoby? Merry Christmas, 2:15, Gold Coast, Australia. Boxing Day sales galore. Okay. Right on. Right on. There we go. My apologies. There you go. See, not everybody who's listening and watching us, no, they don't know. I mean, we have folks from around the world joining in on this Christmas evening run. They're like, what is a Havasu, right? But if you say, hey, I'm checking in from Havasu, Arizona, 9:20 p.m. Armored Batman, normal version from the Batman v Superman. There you go. All right, cool. Now we're back on order here. Yeah. Brian slopping up the last of the end of the year sales. 2020 ending has killed my pocket, but saved so much money in the long run. Next year's going to be different. Brian, Richard, I am with you. I've been winning. Seriously. I estimated I've saved probably a little over $3,000 this year. That's taking advantage of not paying, taking advantage of free shipping, no tax, taking advantage of the excessive markdowns on hot toys. I scored a great deal on Black Friday. Even after Black Friday, there were still several retailers that were having Black Friday sales. I scored big. I was able to pick up something that I had wanted for a very long time, and it was in fact, you can see it because I'm going to do a video probably in the next couple days on it. It is I don't know if you can see, it is well, it's right there. It's the box right on the floor. It is the 3-0 Fallout Power Armor Station. You kids out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a Fallout Power Armor Station that has retailed for $805 on Sideshow. And we've all wanted this really cool gantry diorama set, but no one's had the balls to pay the $805. Now, using my calculated algorithmic search through the deep web, there was one retailer that had it really marked down. And I know what you're saying. Well, Danoby, you took advantage of the BOGO on Sideshow. I did not. In fact, Entertainment Earth actually had it on sale for $479. I had to act. When I tell folks the 2022, the way I managed and I curated my collection and I saved a lot of money, I saved a mint. I really did, especially on Black Friday. I really, really did. Payton 23 checking in from Alabama. Very cool. Very cool. See collector Chris, did you check in yet? Very Danoby2 Christmas. There you go. I like that. Merry Christmas, Danoby from West Valley, Utah. Very nice. The Hot Toys Nightmare. Very cool. Johnny's finally checking in from San Antonio. Danoby, did you ask for Sideshow gift cards? Ew, no. Danoby2 does not do gift cards. No. I don't like gift cards. I make it very clear to friends and family. I don't approve of gift, even though I got 2 gift cards for Christmas. People know that. I made it very clear. The problem is I forget. Someone will gift me $100 gift card. I'll put it somewhere in this room and it disappears. It's completely gone. So Mafia checking in. He is saying to behave because he understands the true meaning of Christmas, that I'm here to kind of spend time with you wonderful folks out there, right? The year's coming to an end. It's been a brutal, it's been a wacky, it's been a very interesting 2022. So it's more of, hey, a discussion, just kind of an open discussion. I think, let me see. Let me get into a couple of topics here. Who's checking in? Jesus Gutierrez checking in from San Diego. Very nice. That is 8:30. Single songwriter checking in. Very cool. Very, very cool checking in. Oh, single songwriter. Are you in Florida? In Florida, right? Checking in next door. Frozen in New York City. Yes. No blackouts in Dallas yet. Right? If ERCOT can keep the power on, right? I just don't make me post thoughts and prayers on Facebook on that. I know it's been some nasty little weather out there. You know what's crazy is that here in Las Vegas, it's been semi-warm. It's like a high 69. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. Here we go. I knew it was Lake Havasu, local Arizona. Well, I didn't know. All right, I'm sorry. Bragging about Lake Havasu is like living in Florida and bragging about Tampa. Not everybody or Gainesville. There you go. Right? It's like living in Florida and you're bragging about, I live in Gainesville. No one knows where the fuck Gainesville is unless you live in Florida and you're mandatory have to cross to get out of the state to cross to a real state, to another state. Here we go. What do we got here? Module cases. So module cases, huh? On Sideshow got delayed again. So I feel like I deserve a thank you, right? I mean, I rocked the boat. I stated my case for module cases, and I didn't. For me, the whole live stream with the module case was kind of like it's kind of like walking on a trail and you see a dormant anthill, right? And you're like, I want to voice my concern to the anthill. You step on it and then you realize millions of ants starts pouring out. That's how the whole module case thing kind of helped me, because I knew there were individuals out there that were concerned about it and had tons of delay, and they didn't have a spokesperson, a figurehead to speak for them, right? It's kind of like that Dr. Seuss, who speaks for the trees. What is the name of that story? You guys know which one, right? The not the Grinch, the little troll that speaks for the trees. And I kind of felt like that little goblin when it came to Magic Case, because Brian from Magic Case honestly thought that everything was fine as he was sipping his Mai Tais on a beach in Singapore while he was installing the robot arms and stuff, and didn't really feel that no one cared. But clearly, the boat was rocked enough that a press statement had to be issued out to address it. So, you welcome. You welcome, folks. You really do welcome. Uh, Ash Chase, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Christmas sweater. Yeah, and I didn't forget about you. I don't like people not. I don't want to hear about folks not having a good Christmas though. It's hopefully 2023, right? Maybe it'll get a little bit better, right? Anyway, my girl Cinnamon says thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Danoby extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye bye.
Just dawned on me. I should have like well, it's too late now, but have a Christmas edition of Cinnamon, just wearing like a Santa hat. Probably just wearing a Santa hat. And for the holidays, for you, it's for the kids. We do it for the kids, right? Yeah. There we go. The tree. Let's talk about discounts. Yeah, let's go to Sideshow. Let's take a trip over to Sideshow Land. All right. I said this in a couple streams earlier, and I'm going just to kind of double down on this bet. These discounts are drying up. This is like a watering hole in the middle of the Serengeti. And the more and more they get rid of some of this old schlock, I think they're done. And they're getting clever about it too, with the double rewards. I think they're getting very, very clever about it. In fact, let me go ahead and just sign out here, because I'm going to do a couple searches here. There you go. The first thing that I noticed was the double rewards, and I don't know if the double rewards is something it's enough to entice customers. It's enough to entice their wallets, because we spent almost a month and a half with BOGO. BOGO, for you folks out there, does someone say, my bet is still strong, good sir? My bet is still strong. These discounts, I'm still going to double down on this. These discounts will expire at the stroke of midnight, December 31st, right? A lot of you kids out there, including Mafia, spreading the hypothesis that it was BOGO. I think, right? Wasn't the buy one get one free will continue till January, March. I want to say maybe Nate from Geeking Out said that. I want to say, see, look at this shit. You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Dude? What? What do you mean?
I hit the bee's nest, and then you.
I heard something about a bet.
You heard right. So did you say? Because I was gonna try to paraphrase it. Did you say that BOGO was gonna continue till like February of next year?
I said that the sales will probably continue till the end of January.
You didn't say BOGO, did you? Or was it Nate?
The Sideshow sales?
Okay. The Sideshow sales.
See, it's all about your wording.
Okay. All right. I could have
sworn. You got to be a politician here.
I could have sworn it's like the BOGO is going to at least continue till March or February, and I felt it came from several nearby.
I mean, I may have said BOGO. I don't know. I don't. It was between you and me anyway, so I don't know. I don't know if there's any log there, but no, I think it's gonna go till the end of January. But Merry Christmas, my man, by the way.
Merry Christmas, Anthony. Thank you so much for just hanging out for a little bit.
Yeah,
Wasn't
buddy.
sure. I know you had a little Christmas morning run. I was caught with the family all throughout the day up until like 4 o'clock. So the fact that I can kind of hang out with you wonderful folks tonight on Christmas Day. It's something new. It's different, right? What do you think about the whole double points? I feel like they're stretching it thin. I feel this is that the watering hole is drying up, and the BOGO is dead. To me, the BOGO. Well, first of all, let's go to BOGO. Do you think it's dead, or do you think it'll
No,
resurface again?
I think it may resurface. I mean, because they had the BOGO for a little bit, and then they took it down for like a week, right?
Yes.
And then they brought it back,
Mm.
and then they took it down, and now we're getting these double points. So if my theory's correct, and they're going to keep having sales through January, they might bring it back.
Mm.
But what do I know? I'm just guessing. It'll
Yeah.
be, just because of the stock situation. Have they depleted their surplus? Really, that's what it comes down to, right?
That's really what it is, because the exact same things that they're still peddling to us, exact same schlock,
Yeah,
dead
same
stock,
stuff here.
peg warmers, right? Let's just call them what they are. They're
Yeah.
just peg warmers.
I mean,
And,
to be fair, they're great figures if you don't own them.
if you
Problem is, most of us own all of this stuff, so it's kind of like, hey, where's the sale on Batman and Robin? Where's the sale on Bo-Katan?
yeah.
Give us the sales on the new figures.
Well, that's why I feel somewhat confident that we're not going to see BOGOs or anything very generous past December 31st. What are they waiting for, right? Especially, the perfect one is the blurg. We know the blurg is going to sit forever.
Yeah, you would think maybe they would discount it because, right, the multiple SKUs, multiple variations of it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's new. So I feel like they're just like, you know what? Anytime something new comes in, we need to maximize our profits because it's brand new. We don't want to dilute that MSRP right away, because then it implies something more, right, to the customers. It says, well, wait a minute, look, this thing's already on sale. Jeez.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Now, I did have an old 10% off coupon, which does apply to the existing in-stock items. So, for example, for you folks out there, I did purchase the Hydra Stomper Deluxe through Sideshow, because I had a 10% coupon, and I was like, you know what? If the coupon works, I'll buy it. And it did. And I still got to benefit from the double points, which is interesting, though, which I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the double points aren't just limited to like the peg warmers. I thought it was very Hydra Stomper. I thought it was really odd that the Hydra Stomper.
Does it say it on here, though?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
That's like $60 or something.
Yeah, that's why I pulled the trigger. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I get to use a 10% coupon, and I get double reward points. And the only thing that I'm a little bit pissed at, I purchased it on Wednesday, and I thought that it would have arrived by yesterday, so I can kind of sit around and play with it, but it did not. It unfortunately.
I mean, ordinarily probably, but holidays and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then tomorrow's is still an extended day off for most, I believe.
Kind of, right? It's like an observed holiday. Yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think UPS runs on Monday.
It should. I mean,
well, they're not like federal, right? Like some of the federal observed holidays would go. I don't know. I guess you could call them tomorrow and be like, hey, you guys open?
Yeah.
Just to see. Yeah. But you're right, though. Look at that. You get 10% off is, what is that? $62?
$62. Yes.
And then that's about the same as the double rewards.
Yeah. So the 10% essentially covered like my sales tax and then a portion of the shipping, but I'm able to sleep a little bit better at night because it double points. Right. So the double points aren't just being applied to what's on sale, but also to the in-stock. This also applies to the blurg and anything else. So again, in the years I've been collecting Hot Toys, I've never seen anything like this during the holidays where it's double points. To me,
have they even done double points before? I don't remember seeing those.
They have, but it's typically like a handful of SKUs. It's never
and like a random event or something, right?
Well, the double points almost applies to a large portion of their in-stock items. So let's just do the blurg. Well, actually, the swoop bike should do it as well too. And you don't see it when you search for it here until you click on it, and there it is. There's right on the top right-hand corner.
Well, that just has
28 in rewards. That's double points.
Oh, it is. Well, because
That's
points
double.
are halved, right?
Yep, points are
It
halves.
just
Yeah,
doesn't
so
have the double points text
yeah.
there.
So if you wanted to, yeah. So how would you do it? You would have to just I didn't click. I shouldn't have clicked on it. If I just search swoop bike on there, and then it would
Oh,
show
yeah,
it
there
on
it
there.
is. Double. Yeah.
So there
Okay.
it is,
So it'll
double
show it in
points.
the thumbnail.
Yeah. So again, it's double points during the holidays. We don't know if this is going to carry on over to January 1st. All of this, snap of a finger, it could essentially disappear. Uh,
That's the
I
only counter argument, right? If they're
Yeah.
just trying to close their books for the year.
Yep. Yep, that's really it. It's the whole idea is that Sideshow, my interpretation, runs on a calendar year from January to December, and their books, they're doing their darnest to balance their books right now. They want to close 2023. When I used to work at Brookstone eons ago, that was our main drive for the month of December. And it was always about get the numbers, give discount. It was the one time where I didn't have to check with my division manager for to add a 20 or 30% discount, like on a large big ticket item in the store. Any other time of the year, I had to call and go, hey, this person wants to buy a massage chair for $2K, can I do 20? And you have to go through, but typically during the Christmas, you're just allowed, it's all about crunching those numbers. So that's my past experience that I'm kind of applying on here, because I guess what I don't want to see is come the first week of January and everybody is clutching their pearls in surprise, right?
Right.
Like, what happened? What's going on? Is it Anthony, is this a Sideshow trick? Is Sideshow play trick, right? And
I just had the craziest thought, man, because you're talking about, old jobs and retail, and selling things to customers. I was like, can you imagine if you worked at what wouldn't necessarily be Sideshow, right? Because it'd be more interactive, like a store. Like if you worked at a store that sold hot toys. I don't know. Would you be making sales? I wonder that. You'd be like, I don't know about this. I was just thinking in my head, man. It'd be funny.
Well, and then so this is something. This is a layman's way of thinking. Not to offend you, Pat, in 23, but it's that path of least resistance. We're like, well, you know what? Maybe they'll still do it because we'll all be more financially comfortable with our income tax return. But then you ask yourself, why would Sideshow do that? Why would they be generous?
Yeah, they don't care about us. It's just same thing with Prime One, taking their third scale statues and making quarter scales. Some of the statue guys are upset about it, but it's like, well, Prime One doesn't care about anybody. Prime One cares about Prime One. They want to make money. Sideshow's the same way. Hot Toys the same way. It's but I only say that because, again, as I mentioned earlier with you, is that have they gotten rid of their surplus stock, right?
No.
So even if they don't, and January comes out, and they're still like, damn, we're still sitting on Stormtrooper commanders and Jango Fett's and endgame caps, then I can see it extending through January because they just want to get rid of the shit.
You know what I find a little bit odd here, because I'm not a CP, I'm not a certified public accountant, but I know well enough. Just for example, like Captain Marvel here, how for the life of them they just can't get rid of her to save their lives, right? They're doing double points, $5 ship, 30% off. Will somebody please take Captain Marvel? I just find it odd that at this point in December they probably would have made more money with her if they would have given her away for free when a customer buys multiple figures through Sideshow.
Yeah, something's like when they would offer you the Stanley Barber for nothing.
Yeah,
when you would make a purchase.
Yeah, and actually, if they give it to you for so, for example, because they used to do this every now and then, every few years, and I can't recount in the last 2 years they've done this, where if you buy multiple figures, like 2 or 3, they'll throw in an extra Hot Toys figure in your shipment for free. They did this with the evil villain from Man of Steel, his dad. Is it Jor-El?
His dad.
Remember from Man?
But Zod is the
main
villain.
Zod. Yeah, they
Okay.
gave away Zods for free. This was like 2015, 16, where I was on Facebook. People were like, hey, they gave me a free Zod for free. Sideshow would just give them away for free. They would, like, if you bought multiple figures, you would find a Zod in your shipment box for free, brand new.
Kneel before Zod.
Yeah.
Just send them to
Yeah.
you. Like, hell yeah.
And I never thought anything of it. I'm like, wow, Sideshow's being generous. But then as I get older, I'm like, well, I go, they can write that as a deductible loss in their full price. So, for example, Captain Marvel, the retail price of $260, they don't have to mark it as a $182. They can, when they're doing their taxes, they'll get a $260 deductible because they can claim it as a charity, as a giveaway. So I see stuff like this. I'm like, well, I go, they need to just start giving some of this shit for free. Just give it away, do more contests, pack. If someone buys multiple figures, and I think it's a little bit too, well, maybe they may start next year, but it's
I think it's something like, hey, if you buy two figures, you get a free Captain Marvel. No one's gonna say no to a free figure regardless.
There you go.
So it'll get them out of stock. They can do a write-off. Someone will just sell the Captain Marvel, or kit bash it, or give it away, or keep it if they really want it, you know?
I don't know. I'm working on a Captain Marvel kit bash. I don't know if you can even kit bash a Captain Marvel. Her suit is so unique. I have no interest or hatred towards her. I just honestly don't care for the character. I mean, look at this. Free US shipping, double points, 30% off. The only thing that's missing for you to buy this figure
that's the trifecta right there, dude. They're just like, take it. Well, what offers can we give you? Let's stack them all on this figure.
I don't get it. I don't understand this right now. This is see, I'm not the only one. Do you remember this at all, Anthony? They used to do this when you bought multiple.
Not often. But yeah, they would.
But the last 2 years, I mean, before they were doing very, very well. It wasn't.
Yeah, it hasn't been nothing since 2019, I don't think.
Yeah, Sideshow didn't really. I feel Sideshow didn't really feel the burn until this year, till all of those 2020 and 2021 pre-orders finally started coming in, and everybody started punking out on them. So, but Sideshow was probably riding high for the last 3 to 4 years, to be honest.
You have to imagine, right? You had there was only a handful of I mean, you were around, of course, too, as far as content creators, but like there was only a handful of like influencers, right? And at the time, everybody was doing good. Everybody was getting them Trump checks. The economy was going. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of boomed. A lot of, collectors turned into, like myself even, I was like, finally, I'm just going to start a channel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it expanded a lot. And then we had all this stuff happening. Then the world collapsed. Everybody was used to having all this money. So Sideshow's like the same. I mean, I don't know if this is what they did, but this is my theory, and I hope I'm wrong, is that Sideshow was looking at it like a couple of guys sitting around, and they're like, dude, look at all this fucking money we're making, right? Order more, dude. Don't stop the press, man. Have them full blast us. We're making hand over fist right now. And then they just stockpiled this warehouse, and then the crickets, and then you're like, oh shit, what do we do? The trend has died, right?
Yeah.
It's like back in the day when people were buying Pogs and those other things, and like it was super trendy or whatever. And I'm not saying that's the same, but similar, right? So this huge wave hit, and there's just piles of money to be made, and then it all ends, and then you're stuck with the stock.
It's Captain Marvel is like Ragnarok Stanley now. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then their daily deals are kind of pathetic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They're just are. This is their daily deals, and it's for me, it seems like it's more saturated with Iron Studios. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of Iron Studios.
There's a ton of Iron Studios. I'm sorry. There's a ton of Iron Studios. Pewter statues and things like that. I just don't.
But as far as the daily deals, this is like what, a handful of things. There's just nothing of interest. Are you gonna buy a Tom and Jerry bowling figure? I mean, I don't know, maybe, but
nothing.
Yeah, there's really not much there, dude. I mean,
really not. and it keeps and you keep at. And this is the other thing too, where a lot of collectors like, yeah, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna buy the swoop bike. I'm gonna get this. There's no guarantee. Nothing is set in stone when it comes. And I get it. A lot of us, you and I, we're talking about Batman and Robin forever. We're probably going to end up having to pay that full price because we're falling behind.
I know, right? We're like, hey, they're going to put them on sale? No.
We're falling behind. Yeah. Maybe. Well,
I feel like, to be fair, they're going to sit around for a little while.
I feel like they're going to sit around for a while too.
Yeah.
But the problem,
I don't feel pressed yet.
I don't feel the pressure yet. But the problem is that, yeah, they could sit around for 8 or 9 months, but when they start to go into low inventory, it's probably going to be at such a worse time. It'll just be that's how it works.
Well, yeah, because we have other invoices to take care of.
We have other stuff to take care of.
And you're like, God damn it, I should have grabbed those when I had the money. Now I got to buy this Ecto-1 or something, or the DeLorean hits.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably, and it sucks because I just don't. Oh, are they double points? Did we check?
Batman and Robin? I didn't check. Now's as good a time as any.
Here we go.
I like double points. It reminds me of well, not that I've ever condoned these games as a service and stuff, but when you're playing games that have seasons and things like that, and they're like, hey, here's a week-long or month-long, double points, double credits, you're like, there they are, right at the top right.
And they're not. So it's still
you know what? Because they're not in stock though either. You see, none of the deals ever work on stuff that's on pre-order. So, granted, people did get their Batman from Sideshow, but that was the early adopters so far, right? So it's still here, check Bo-Katan because she's actually now in stock, ships next day. Because she's one of the newer ones too, where like people got her right away, but she's ready to purchase.
But she's not being peppered with double points.
Just the Iron Studios one.
She is in stock. So you're right, she's in stock, but not yet. Definitely not yet. I know the swoop bike is, the blurg is, X Wolves. He's not going to see a lot of this shit. None of this stuff is going anywhere. Let me
see, this is where I think they're failing. Because
who's failing? Sideshow or Hot Toys?
Yeah, Sideshow, because I don't like they have an idea, but then they get real stingy with it, like EA, right? Where it's like, okay, Bo-Katan's in stock. How would it in any way hurt you as a company to give double points on this new figure? You're not discounting the figure. It's a new figure. It's a hot item. People are going to buy more of it. You're going to give the customers more double points, which is going to make them spend more money on your product, which is going to empty your warehouse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why don't you do that? But they look at it like, well, it's a new figure. We're not going to have any kind of promos on new figures. Yeah. But it doesn't hurt the value of the figure. You're not discounting the figure.
Mm-hmm. We got a surprise guest, Anthony. We got a surprise guest. Here we go. Here we go. Merry Christmas.
Yo, what is going on, people?
Happy Festivus.
Hey.
Festivus for the rest of us.
That's right. The airing of grievances. That's what it should have been called tonight, but I know you want to keep it cool. Got a lot of problems with you people.
Yo, are y'all out of your damn minds? A stream on Christmas night. What's wrong with you?
Come on, man. It's Chris. Look, we're here to share the pain, right? We're here to talk about discounts. And look, Nate, were you telling the folks about BOGO carrying over to next year? Was it you or Don Prime? One of you kids out there, was it you?
May have been Don Prime because he's more what's more looking for? What's that word I'm looking for? Like he's positive about the situation. You know what I mean?
Like optimistic.
Yeah. Optimistic. He's very optimistic with the future. I was more coming in the fact that I never realized it, but Sideshow can just pull the plug on all these discounts right at the stroke of midnight or a little bit after 2023. But then again, we've been having discounts throughout the year of 2022. So if you guys didn't jump in the arc before the doors are closing in, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, man. Damn. But we had time to capitalize on discounts.
Do you
Can't
think that the
cry
watering hole is drying up, Nate?
spill blue milk right now.
Yeah. Nate, I apologize to cut you off, but do you think that the discounts are drying up, or do you think they're still going to continue to a certain point? Because Anthony is kind of throttling back. He's not. He's switched to first gear. He was traveling at fourth and fifth. Now he's like, well, here's the thing now.
So I wanted to bring this up real quick because I remember Don Prime was talking about the taxes are coming up, right?
Yeah.
And Sideshow will probably capitalize on people's taxes by dropping in more discounts. That's one way to look at it. If they decide that, hey, we're going to bring back the discounts or take a break, or the well drying up. But it does look like the well is drying up. But then again, like a week ago, it was the Battle Damage Mark 85 for 20% off. So
was it 25 or 20%?
It was 20%.
Well, like, here's the thing though, and I agree with Nate, where he's like, I'm trying to think there was Best September, some made up thing for September.
Yeah, I remember that guy. They were pulling things out of their ass.
Before September was August. And then I think July. Did we have sales in July? It doesn't matter. The point is, it's been at least 4 months of sales. And it has been all the same stuff, right? But occasionally, like Nate just mentioned, I mean, we had the same thing with the Mark 50. Remember, they just did that last month or so. Here's the Mark 50. Here's the free accessories.
Yep. Free accessories with it too. Like, damn.
$300, accessory pack. Take it.
Yeah.
And I believe the Mark 50 was 30% off. It was something.
Yeah.
It was not retail. You could get a discount on the 50 and get the free pack. So they'll do some random event things, but then it's always the same Stormtrooper Commander, Tusken Raider, the stuff that they've had in stock for months and months now.
It's the same trash. Not trash. It's the same peg warmer schlock. It's not.
Yeah, like if we have it, it's great, right?
Yeah.
But when I look through this list, the list is obviously a little different now because the deals are gone. But the $5 shipping stuff, for example, like we have all that. At least we do. And then if there are other people buying it, I assume that they've gotten a lot of them already as well. So how many times you're not buying multiple, named figures realistically? You may get a second Luke or something, but troopers I can get. Well, maybe you're going to build an army or whatever. Okay. But for the most part, it's all the same stuff, man. People are probably like, hey, we want some new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. Do you agree, Nate, that it's not going to change? I mean, when I mean change, we're not going to. For example, let's use the Mandalorian and the Blurg here. I mean, double rewards is actually very generous from Sideshow.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I should make it clear to the audience. When I say that the discounts are going to expire at the stroke of midnight, I still expect Sideshow to throw a $20 coupon, $25 off. Sure, they do that year round. I'm talking the generous stuff. I'm talking 20% off. I'm talking BOGO. I'm talking double rewards. Double rewards, we don't see. Anthony, you mentioned this early on. We don't see this very often. You're right. No. Very seldom.
This is my first time.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first time seeing this. Now, I've seen double awards on like big pieces, like Sideshow statues, stuff that's been sitting around. But to this extent, this is my first time seeing like across the board, not only Hot Toys, but other figures as well. I mean, the Hot Toys is not only one that here in Sideshow's getting affected by the double awards. There's a lot more stuff too. So I'm here like, damn. What else can they do?
Here's the problem, though. While we may see this now, I don't think this. Okay, how do I explain this? That makes sense.
Well,
okay, so you have.
Let's use Bo-Katan. We're not. Is Bo-Katan going to be?
Well, but I can't use her because she's a 2021 announcement. So what I'm looking at here is that history will not repeat itself, right? Because if what they're trying to do now is cut us off a year before it comes out, right? Everything's going waitlist a year before it hits stock.
Mm-hmm.
Then next year, eventually, the well is going to dry up. All of this stuff is going to be gone, or the majority of this stuff's going to be gone. So following next year, I don't think they can repeat the same kind of because Because if they didn't do what they're doing now with this waitlist fiasco, then this would be kind of like that horrible candy that nobody eats in Halloween, and it gets recycled every year, and people just try to get rid of it. Like, that's what would happen every year. They'd be like, well, here's another BOGO, like if they didn't get rid of the waitlist stuff that they're doing now, right? Then you see all this pre-order stuff right here? Let's pretend they didn't do these waitlist things. Then next year, all this stuff on screen would be like BOGO because they couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, I can see Sideshow, if they decide they want to keep going with the discounts, so they can make space for whatever pre-orders that haven't made it in yet. Whatever 2021 pre-orders haven't made it in yet, like make the space for the DeLoreans, stuff like that. But then make space for the 2022 pre-orders that do make it to in stock purchases, right?
Majority of that 2022 moving forward, a lot of it's waitlist.
Yeah. It's like what, 80%, 70, 80% waitlisted.
Yeah. So, and I guess so. You want to be careful, especially if you're a year one collector moving into next year, and like, well, everything's just discounted. I guess I can just wait. No, coming into
well, that's what I'm saying, right? So they're not going to be able to do these types of sales next year, I don't think, because
I expect it not to.
Their whole goal is to reduce inventory
to make more room for the bigger ticket items that are coming in.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Sideshow's not just Hot Toys.
That's true.
As we all know. They have.
Yeah, they have other things. They have other bigger stuff. But the thing is, we can see that they did overproduce overpurchase batches for 2020, 2021.
Oh, they absolutely did.
Yeah,
they thought they were going to roll in money because
they were rolling in money with the stimmies. Baby.
Listen, somebody at that table needed to be like, "Hey,
somebody's been fired.
I've been down this road before.
It's rain and stimmies. Hallelujah!
Right?
It's rain.
Like trends end, the economy changes. You can't. It's almost like they counted all their eggs in one basket or something, right? They're like, "Oh, we're going to be fine. Just order 10,000 of this because they're just flying off the shelves, and then poof."
But hey, there is a good side to all this. There's collectors out here like us that are enjoying the benefits of the discounts. So
for now,
there's a lot of discounts.
For now, but all year round, I've been collecting discounts. I was all year round collecting discounts. So I feel that if collectors were on the bandwagon, well, hey, the ride is over. If we don't get any discounts next year, starting off, like this, only in events, then hey, it was a good ride. Hey, we capitalized. That's why I keep telling people, capitalize on 2020, 2021 pre-orders, and then make sure you get your pre-orders in for 2022 because they're not lasting. They're going extinct like the dodo bird.
Yeah, they sure
I will tell you this because I've done some trivia on my channel. I actually ran my trivia twice. I did it again today, but it was a repeat of last night's questions. But because I had to do all the research, download all the photos, as of today, December 25th, there's been 62 Hot Toys releases of 2022.
Damn.
So, and one could argue there's a slight variance to that because I didn't count the Blurg by himself, right? So you could add that, it'd be 63. Or the Boba Fett 2-pack he sold single, you could add him as 64, right? I didn't break them. I didn't break those apart. So 62 is the essential number that has been released so far. We still have 6 days until the new year, so they could potentially, but I'm trying to keep track of that, right? So next year, when we're here, 1 year from today, next Christmas, we'll see the numbers again because I see some people in the chat, wondering, like, will they do less? I don't think Hot Toys will do less. I think if anything, Hot Toys is going to do more releases.
More.
Sideshow's not their only distributor.
That's right.
And they don't care about that. They just care about just cranking it out.
They care about actual true pre-order numbers. If their average pre-orders are 5,000, they may make, I don't know, throwing out numbers, they may do 6. They're not they'll probably be making 30,000 units. That's different. People had money back in the day, 2019, and the best car, because people love to point towards like examples like the best car Armor Deluxe. It's never going to sell out. You're right. What's her the crazy chick with the tentacles in her head? I can't think of her name. Ahsoka,
Ahsoka.
the Toontown. Yeah, everybody thought that was that was going to be the next hot grail is going to sell out. That chick isn't going anywhere. That bitch is going to sit there forever.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting though? How the paradigm shifts because now next year, now that we're seeing things hit wait list, right? And if this is no longer just it's not a. I don't think it's a happenstance, man. I told you this shit when Peacemaker went. I was like, dude, I think this is the way now.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's this way into 2023, then everybody's gonna have a different opinion. They're gonna be like, yeah, this like so. Let's just say that Ahsoka came out next year. It was a 2022 announcement. Then
it would have been a different story because no one has money now.
Well, sure, but people could still like now. We will be like, oh yeah, that's just gonna sell out. And it would be a valid response because of the conditions that are set upon us now through Sideshow. But prior to that, even then, you know, I'm just playing advocate to a couple of people out there. Not everybody, because there's a lot of people that said every damn thing's a grail. But prior to them getting so overstocked, right? That was another paradigm shift if you think about it, right? Because that only happened recently. This massive overstock. So prior to that, the conditioning that we have in our head, we're like, oh yeah, it's going to sell out. Because it would. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is just piling up. It's like trash. It's piling outside of the warehouse. They have no room for this. So of course we're going to see this supply and demand fluctuate. So next year, dude, we'll all be singing a different tune.
Yeah. Let me, I threw this one chat comment here because I need to let Ed know. Don't sleep on this. Don't wait for a coupon or discount. Grab it. Once this 2-pack nightmare sells out, it's gone. They killed my boy Henry.
Oh yeah,
they killed him. Don't I'm waiting for. I would not. This 2-pack was never exposed to BOGO, was it?
I don't remember. I know that it didn't get a discount. Yeah, I promise you that there was no discounts whatsoever.
Yeah, they held on to Superman always sells. I'm telling you right now, once that 2-pack sells out, it is gone. I wonder if they're even offering double points on it. Let me see.
I don't think so.
Find out. Well, no, look at that. Only free shipping. They're not even. They're not. Let me see if they're even blessing it with double points. Oh, they are. They're giving you double points on it though, and free shipping. So I would tell Ed, this is probably going to be the best it's ever going to get. $52 is double points.
And $52 off.
Yeah. That's how you
free
look
shipping,
at it.
Right? Well,
yeah,
I guess it's maybe shipping would be $40, but
this is the last chance 2-pack for collectors. This is your last chance to get yourself a Superman, Harry Cavill, and this is the last chance to get a Batman Nightmare BVS. Because, if we pray to the heavens for Howie to give us a Superman at the end of Black Adam, that'd be freaking perfect. The problem is, I don't know what's going on with DC right now, but they're cutting off heads like Order 66. Emperor Palpatine over there.
They're rebooting the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're scrapping it all. It's like when people expect to see Fox X-Men in MCU. It's just not, no, it's not going to happen.
Let me see. It was free shipping. Okay, so I really don't consider that a discount per se. It's just like a okay, so I dodged a bullet, but I still got 2 more bullets I got to dodge at this point. Like I dodged the first one, but I got the tax bullet and then the inflated price bullet, Yeah. When I consider something a discount, it's like 15% or 20% off. And on top of that, a free shipping, then there we go. Yeah, let's go. That's when I consider free shipping more of a discount. But
double points, like I said, it keeps the heartburn down. It's still not generous, but for this one here, I think this is going to be as good as you get. Here's the kicker. Here's the kick in the balls. What if come January 1st, it's back to normal? Nothing. Regular shipping and the double points are all gone. Everything is gone. It's like the website resetted itself. You're gonna
Y2K.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, I think it'd be fine because we're not. Well, I'm only speaking on behalf of myself.
Yeah.
but I'm not going to notice a difference.
No.
Right? I'm not buying this stuff anyway.
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. On the affecting my part as far as like purchasing figures, because I'll just use 20%. Well, I'll still use the discounts and the $20 off or $25 off I get by purchasing through Sideshow. So it still would be back to old times again. And
well, wait a minute, Nate. I got to stop you there. So wait, Anthony, are you saying you don't have any figures of regret through Sideshow, or you're just saying you have other?
You mean figures of regret? What do you mean?
That you haven't, like you're not falling behind yet. That
well, no. What I mean is that these you're talking about if these sales cut.
Yeah, like if the sales stop. Yeah, through Sideshow.
Everything that's on sale, I'm not buying.
Oh, I gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? It's all the schlock, right? I already have all this stuff. So like you said, if they just reset tomorrow and the sales are done, it's not affecting me because I'm not buying anything.
Gotcha. And
from the sale perspectives, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I absolutely am falling behind. There's some things I need to pick up, but they're never on sale because they're new.
Yeah. Does that apply to you too? What Anthony just said, that everything you want already, you already have, because everything that's on sale, who cares if the sales stop? Is what I understood him that time.
Well, for me, most of what I need as far as pre-orders is concerned is already covered through Sideshow. It's already covered. Okay. Like I'm not playing games with this waitlist crap. So, but any deals I have, the 2020, 2021 figures I don't have just yet. I still have time to get them because they're not selling out. They're still sitting, getting hit with the discounts. So I have time to go back and forth purchasing what I need to complete my collections or complete my order list. You can't really complete a collection unless you're really going that hard on space, and to also have the space to occupy the upwards of freaking 180 pre-orders, 180 orders. Wait, where are we now? Are we on 180?
We're about 133, I believe. Here, I can run the search right now. Pre-orders, not including what's in stock. You would just search Hot Toys, and then you have to you got to modify it here. And let me get and you want to get rid of the cause babies, so you put
you get rid of the cause babies.
So you go minimum $100. You go up, and then you go to pre-release, and then you go to brand new, and we're looking at about 129 pre-orders right now. That's a lot. 129 right there. You can see.
But to be fair, they were at 170.
Did they hit that high at one point?
I think they did.
I think we were last year. I think we were crying to the heavens. How dare you, Howie, give us 170 pre-orders?
With the in-stock and pre-orders, the highest I ever recall seeing it was like 136 or 138. I never saw it actually ever break 140. But still, that's still a lot.
I could be wrong, but I thought we were 150s, 160s, 170 last year.
If you do available now, it's 150. That's including the in stock. I just filtered it to pre-orders. I'm not counting what's included in stock. I never saw
maybe that's, I don't remember if
it could be, because you're right. At one point, available now with the pre-orders, everything total, it was in the 170s. Everything. So yeah, that
might have been it.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking in my head like they're less now this year than they were last year.
Yeah,
but it's still a lot. It's still a lot.
Another thing, can you hear me? There you go.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to bring up too, with the coming next wave of pre-orders being released for 2022, right? Mm-hmm. There is still a possibility that we will be getting batches that have not been sold off yet, right? Usually, when that's the case, when it gets back to in stock, they do last for about a week or two, possibly a month before everything gets sold out. I think the common contention here with Sideshow lying to the public, people be using that as their example. Like, you see, it came back. It was not waitlisted. There's still going to be figures that are going to be available.
Wait, you're calling Sideshow a liar. What are you referring to when you're calling Sideshow a liar?
Well, there's collectors out there that do feel that Sideshow is manipulating pre-orders by going wait list early on certain figures, but then they have extra batches in the back.
Yeah.
See, there's no scam. There's no Romulan plot. Like it's not.
We didn't land on the moon.
There's not. I was hearing it for months, and I was like, no, not. That's just not good business for them.
No,
it's not. Literally, this is what happens. Like, and people just said it again. They'll always have an excuse for something. They'll be like, look, 3PO's back. See, they're sticking it to us. It's a ploy. And I'm like, nah, they just probably had a little bit extra right there, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's not still here. Like, I don't know why people are thinking this way. It's they're going low stocks. That's how it's been all year.
Well, the thing is, Sideshow always orders extra figures. No, not allowed to cover. So yeah, single star is right. There are extra figures, but the thing is, it won't be enough to cover.
Like I said, there's not enough
for a year of in stock. Like, I feel that people think that 2022 pre-orders are going to be like 2020 and 2021 pre-orders, where they're going to last for nearly a year or two. I don't think that's going to be the case. Certain figures that don't get waitlisted now will probably last a bit longer, but it's going to be going back to the 4 months, 6 month plan with in-stock items. In-stock items, especially with Star Wars, they have like a 4 month, 6 month window. But for before 2020, 2021,
when they came into stock, they would sit on the Sideshow shelves for about 6 to 8 months, right?
Yep.
That was the norm. I'm telling you, that was the norm.
That was the norm.
That was the norm. I remember that. Where Emperor Palpatine would sit there forever in that throne chair, and they would give out discounts, and then he blew up in 2020. Because there was wizards out there casting predictions out there, but busting.
Well, keep in mind, bro, like Rogue One, dude, sat forever.
Yes, I remember that.
Forever.
Dooku sat for almost 8 months. I remember I bought him discounted.
Me too. Me too. Mm-hmm.
But I think again, this is just following the trends of life, right? Because Star Wars was pretty dead. Let's be real here.
Sure, it was. I remember that.
Like, and I'm talking Revenge of the Sith dead, because if you guys remember, and we can say what we want about the generation that came after us, but the prequels were not very well received.
Dude, I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
I was there.
So the kids may have liked it, right? Growing up, that's their generation. But like us older guys in the teenage years, early 20s, we were like, "What is this?" So then Star Wars was dead. And then they got the Clone Wars, but us guys didn't care about it because we didn't like the prequels. So,
well, the thing is, prequels started to get more love because the sequels, even the guys I know hated prequels to a T, went back to that. I'm like, I was too hard on it.
Of course, because that's what my point was. Because then Disney comes around, buys Lucasfilm, announces Episode 7.
Yeah,
people get all excited. Oh shit, we're finally getting another Star Wars.
Finally.
Even the old guard like us were like, oh, cool, continuation. It's not a prequel, right? And then even the prequel guys that grew up with it are like, oh, cool, more Star Wars. And then it all fell to shit and it was horrible. So it just, any spirit that was there for Star Wars was crushed by Disney. So then they put out all this stuff, and it just sat here. It sat here, and it sat here because nobody even cared. Even OT was sitting. If you remember.
Yep.
People are like, I don't even want fucking OT, dude. I'm so upset with Star Wars that I don't even want to look at it.
Nate, I was there. I was there.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
You understand why I was triggered. We're like, let's get another Dooku 2.0. Like, fuck out of here.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Look at me.
All right.
No,
I'm just saying. Out of the two,
He's like, and we can still get it.
I don't.
Well,
want
in a way, we can still get it if Revenge of the Sith comes out with the Dooku.
Sure.
That's a different Dooku. It's a different Dooku. You're gonna have sheared arms off and everything, a sheared head off. Come on, magnetic head rolling down the freaking board.
To the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary. It just the pieces fit for that one. It's not like I think this was a, it's more logical speculation. I was
But-
like, this is
But I'll play devil's
denominator
advocate
here.
though. Like, there's a possibility we can get a Dooku, but it'll cost you though. They'll throw in a 2-pack with USB powered lightsabers with the freaking Yoda,
Sure.
and then it'll make you pay 500, 520 for
Well,
it.
see, even then, I don't think they'll do that because, as I mentioned before, I think I mentioned it on my show actually the other day. I think I did. Wherever I mentioned it, they can't do that, bro, because that will kill that'll kill the market. It'll kill our channels. It'll kill everybody.
It killed Nightmare Batman.
No, Nightmare Batman's it didn't kill it in that sense, because this is what I'm talking about. Like, let's go with your theory here for a minute, right? Like, indulge me for a minute. They put out Dooku 2.0.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He has rolling eyes. He has USB lightsaber. Okay, what is he missing from Dooku 1.0? If the answer is nothing,
throwing the bike.
They've completely killed the first Dooku. Because why would you buy this shitty version when now this one has rolling eyes and USB? See, they can't always release something that completely dethrones its predecessor, because that's just one figure, but you put it on a scale of 30 figures, right? And if they start doing this with all of the original trilogy, for example, every
it's coming
is an
though.
upgrade. Yeah, but see, there has to be a balance. Like, and you notice these trends. Like they did another Mark 5, or I'm sorry, Mark 46 reissue, right?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't get the Captain America hat. You didn't get a head sculpt. So you're like, oh, well, the other Mark 46 still holds some kind of value because it has the Captain America head or helmet.
It has an actual head sculpt.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So they try to mix. You see what I'm saying? Like, if they were to enhance the shit out of everything all over again, people are gonna be like, what the fuck? Why am I gonna buy this shit? Because then you're gonna 3.0 these even later, and like that discourages collectors, and that's the last thing you want to do. You want to keep people in. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a common practice with Hot Toys Star Wars IP. Remember, I had asked the audience, name a true 2.0 within the Star Wars universe of Hot Toys. And the conclusion was it was Bespin Luke. That's a true 2.0.
Yeah, it's 2.0.
Yeah.
We don't, it's not, and then technically he's still not even out yet. So
what's funny?
Yeah.
I just want to say this because you bring Mario and I were talking about this morning on my channel, and I said the same thing you just said. I was like, Bespin Luke is the first 2.0.
True 2.0, yeah.
But Mario was like, well, what about Return of the Jedi Luke? And I think he's got a point.
Return of Jedi Luke, I don't find as a 2.0. It's just the deluxe accessory set that Hot Toys promised us. They promised they were going to release sets for that Luke Skywalker, kind of like an accessory set, like Grogu's accessory set, but for Luke, because for Return of the Jedi line. And they were like, oh, you know what? We waited too long. Might as well throw in the figure for him. Because it's still the same figure. The only difference is that they cut down on the fat suit for the newest one compared to the old one. The old one had
deleted scenes.
Yeah, they had a deleted scene scarf too. But I like the newest one because the fat suit wasn't as annoying as the original one. That's the one thing I do like about the new one, because he's not as buffed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though it made him look good, like, damn, freaking Luke Skywalker's been hitting the gym, bro. Like, damn, dude. Yeah, you get in the games.
And you going back to the 2.0 Luke, right? It's not common within the Star Wars Hot Toys IP, and they only do it to a legacy character. Hence why I don't feel that we would get a 2.0 Dooku. But there was a loophole within the clause of speculation, which I did kind of agree to, was, and you said this too, Anthony, was Dooku 2-pack with a swoop bike. Exact same fucking figure. I can absolutely see Hot Toys do that. Absolutely. Hey, we're going to use exact same Dooku. I mean, hell, you saw how they treated my poor Doc Brown, right? So a
Got him
Dooku
right next to me. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
And they would get me. They would piss me off, and I would buy it, and I would stew over it because I'm like, fuck, it's the exact same Dooku, but I am going through a small Star Wars vehicle kick right now, and I would want that. That's all that they would have to do to get me back in, and they would charge $500,
and you'll buy it,
and I'll buy it.
And then you'll have to sell the Dooku or something.
And then I'll sell the Dooku probably at cost, whatever, not really looking to make a profit, but
sure. But
yeah.
but then in that case, if that is the case, then the original Dooku will still hold its value because it's the same figure.
Exactly.
So you're like, well, here's Dooku, he just doesn't have speeder.
And it'll probably have missing accessories. One of the accessories that Dooku has is the holographic Death Star. To me, that's valuable, right? Right, Nate?
Right.
To me,
right. They may just omit that out of that packaging.
That's enough to piss off.
That's what I was saying. They need to change some things because they can't just improve everything and leave everything that wasn't originally included with it. Otherwise, it screws it all up.
Well, yeah, the improvement is going to come in if they do it. Will be the Revenge of the Sith, which give more people time to enjoy their current Dooku before they really go into 2.0. That's the last time we probably see a chance at a 2.0 Dooku. But if we see like a reissue case with this current Dooku, the one we have right now, there has to be something in there that doesn't, like you said, Moff, not to devalue the original one. But then again, Hot Toys, it's a whole different animal now.
It is like I don't recognize this very.
It's not the same.
And that's where I'm tripping. And then that's what Bob was saying. Yeah, it's like Hasbro or SH Figurehouse, and I'm like, well, yeah, kind of. I've been feeling like Hot Toys is turning into Hasbro. I don't want that to be the case, though. That's my point. So the mentality that I have is I think these things as a typical Hot Toys collector, not this new Hot Toys 2.0 collector, where they're just
2.0 collector.
Well, really, that's what it is because they've changed it up so much that I don't know. And I'm looking at it through the lens of, they're not going to do that, because they haven't. But now everything's changing. But I mean, Luke's kind of a similar situation though, because you are getting a 2.0. He does have rolling eyes. They did give you the Sideshow exclusive helmet that came with DX07, but it's not DX07. It's not a 2-pack. You don't get the weather vane. It's different. So DX07 still holds some value. You see what I'm saying? Even though this is a 2.0 Bespin Luke, it didn't take away. It didn't give us a 2-pack and a weather vane and the helmet, right? With rolling eyeballs, all this new shit. Then it would have completely killed DX07.
Very different.
Hey guys, so I love being here, but I am at work, so things are picking up over here now. So I will have to go.
All right,
sounds good, brother, man.
That's fine. It's always a pleasure, Nate. Thank you for crashing on this Christmas. It's not Eve, but Christmas night. Right?
Yeah, I had to because he kept inviting me every time I'm at work. But it was Christmas. I'm like, I want to bring you a gift. I'm like, hey, I'm here.
For the kids,
fun,
do it for the kids, for the kids.
I do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids,
Do it for the kids. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, the chat. It was always a pleasure with you guys. Danoby, Six of Mafia. We got to get together again at some point. Stream it up again. So
we'll figure it out, man.
We'll figure it out, Nate, because the pain.
The pain.
I love that movie. Later, guys.
I love it. See you, Nate.
Yeah. Collect everything. Sacrifice everything.
That's funny, dude. Hell yeah. Oh man.
There's a comment here I wanted to where is it? Shoot. Let's see if I can find it. Hot Toy Straight reissue. Hot Toy Straight reissue and Empire Strikes Back Vader and Boba Fett for the 40th anniversary. Empire Strikes Back in better packaging. Yeah, that was just a plain read. And it kind of irritated me, but they have different values. So when I hear someone say they're comparing Hot Toys to Hasbro and SH Figures Art, this is probably an example, probably best comparison, where you've essentially taken the exact same figure and you repackaged it. I don't fall for these gimmicks. I know some in the community do, where they need both versions. To me, the first Empire Strikes Back Vader did it for me, and I never had any plans on set. See, I remember that. I remember back in 2021, people were hawking off their Empire Strikes Back Vader to fundraise. And I know,
they're the same. I mean,
they're this.
packaging, I guess, but
they were doing that to get the different package. And I even sighed, well, we'll probably get Return of the Jedi Vader. I'm like, never assume anything with Hot Toys. I don't recognize, you've said this, I don't recognize this Hot Toys we're dealing with. I've been in this game for a long time. A lot of the practices, even Sideshow, kind of feels like they went through a different management team. They
most definitely did.
Yeah. they canned the existing management team and so forth. Look, folks, I'm telling you, the discounts are drying up. I just don't want to hear it come January and everybody's like, what happened to all the discounts? I missed out on this. I missed out. I just don't think this stuff is going to roll over. I know people are holding their breath for tax season. Me and Anthony said it. We're going to be buying Batman and Robin probably at retail for 20 bucks off.
I know we'll get like a little discount if we're lucky, but
we'll get something very, very small but it's not going to be anything. Wow. It's not going to be anything. I just don't. Did you, on your live stream, Anthony, did you go over the photos of the grand opening for the Rebel base? Did you?
I did last week.
Did you squash any of the speculative rumors? Like, we're going to get another Chewbacca. I'm telling you, it's right there.
Well, yes and no, because the reason I say that, because at first glance, I thought it might have been a new Chewbacca. But then I looked at it and I enhanced. But I zoomed in and I looked and I'm like, well, because dude, the way they groomed his hair looked different, and then they put the bandolier on backwards, so my eyes said, hey, something's different here, right? Just because I'm so used to looking at mine, something's different. Oh, is this new? And then I zoomed in and I looked and I was like, no. Zoom in on his face. I don't know if you can in here, but
because I'm not logged.
He's got his mouth is identical. Because I heard somebody else say that. They're like, oh, it's always different. I'm like, well, look at Mario in the chat. See, I know. He knows. I messaged Mario. I was like, look, it's a new Chewie.
Mario's one of them?
No. He's corroborating my story, because I was like, look, I think this is a new Chewie. Okay. But then upon enhancing, and then I looked at mine, and it's like, you know what? But I didn't start the rumor. I started a rumor with Mario. But,
I heard the Star Wars wizard kind of speculating on it, and I'm just like, no, that just you want to be careful, because then you have the kids selling their existing Chewie, thinking they're right.
Well, look, also nothing there is new.
Yeah,
so that's when I clicked in. I was like, okay, wait a minute. It's just he looked different at first glance. Like when you first look at him, doesn't look like my Chewie.
No,
but I don't have him groomed like that either.
I disagree with Carnivorous Lunar Activities. Hot Toys feels like a designer brand now. Cut quality, pay for it. I haven't witnessed or experienced a quality drop in Hot Toys. I've seen them be lazy and omit and take shortcuts. As far as quality, no, I probably would not agree with you on that. Quality meaning they're using cheap lead-based paint or something, or no, I haven't seen that. I've seen them. We've all seen, even Anthony would agree with me, we've seen them be lazy. They're getting lazy. And sometimes you just have to kick them. You have to.
The most laziest thing is this fucking cardboard.
Yeah.
And not giving us a new dock sculpt.
Yeah.
But that's just recent, because this is an open wound right here, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. The cardboard
the quality I get, though, for the most part, they've been pretty solid.
Yeah. I was fine with the plutonium footlocker. That did not bother me, because they've used cardboard props before, and it's fine.
It will degrade. It will fall apart.
Well, if you're like Bob Dylan and you live
like
in Hurricane Alley, right?
Shots fired, Bob.
I mean, if you're constantly dodging storms in every, I mean, sure. But you and I are blessed out in the desert, right? I mean,
well, sure, but even look at most of Asia. That shit's humid as fuck, and that's their primary audience.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So they're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's it's a tough one, because we both love Back to the Future, and we want to say it's a great figure. So we're gonna justify this abuse, We're like, all right, I stop hitting me. I still love you, but that's how you feel. You're like, oh man, no, this is crap.
Yeah.
This is crap. I don't have a drought, bro. I got bottled waters.
You got
I'm just fucking with them.
I would love to, you folks out there, I would love to share with some of the comic book retail shops I hit, but unfortunately I have to protect my interests. My job is to curate my collection the best economical way I can. And the last time I plugged the best economical place to buy, they took away my free shipping. And that was Alter Ego. So let's just say that there are other reputable comic books online stores that just through Black Friday they don't charge tax, they don't charge shipping. They were peppering in some fantastic deals. This is probably, out of the little over 10 years I've been collecting Hot Toys, this is the 1 year I have saved the most in buying Hot Toys. It is like just insane. Like, I just got my Moff Gideon a few weeks ago, back in November, with the BOGO. I'm like, I was just dragging my feet on Moff Gideon. Nobody seemed to care about him. I'm like, I guess I should buy Moff Gideon. He's my BOGO. You know, it's just all of it's just the stacked discounts. And then there was a lot of online retailers that were doing generous discounts. Fortunately, this has not been a very good year for certain retailers. I just found out that one of my local shops, comic book shops, Big Bang Comics here in Las Vegas, Sahara, they're potentially going through a BK right now, and they may not be around in January. Then I've heard a few weeks ago Dorkside Toys, which I never bought from them. I was aware of them. I always felt I got a better deal through Big Bad Toy Show when it came to buying action figures. There was always selected SH figures I wanted. I always felt Big Bad Toy Store did a better job in handling my SH Figuarts hit. But yeah, it sucks that a lot of people went through some tough times with Dorkside Toys. That sucks, especially during the holidays, especially if you had existing pre-orders. I've been very fortunate. I've been dodging some pre-order mishaps from like 3 different stores. The biggest one I think I dodged was Master Replicas when they folded, and they were still collecting up until the week that they folded. They were collecting $600 from everybody on the HAL, the HAL unit, the 2001. Yep. They were still collecting $600 on that. So
yeah, they're not going to tell you sorry you're not getting it.
Nope. They folded. Chronicle Collectibles, I think.
Chronicle, yeah.
They were partnered up with some retailers, so they were able to, most people still got their money, but it hasn't been a perfect landscape.
No.
Somebody else to share the pain with us. It's always a pleasure. Merry Christmas, Mario. Man, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
I haven't seen Mario in forever.
Yeah. It feels like it's definitely been a minute, but I'm always happy to see you, man. Yeah, bro.
Of course.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
Mario's always full of cheer, so I'm like, it's always cool.
Hey,
I got to listen to your stream the other night, and even though it gets out of control, I'm like, look at Mario. He's he keeps the doing so good. That's so good. This is the most I've had. I think I saw 157 viewers. Look, folks, thank you so much. I'm doing this to spend time with you folks out there on Christmas Day. I know the holidays can be a big turmoil. It could be depressing. It could be exciting. I just wanted to really spend time with you folks. We're gonna continue. Mario. We're gonna bounce off some ideas, but I need your help, folks. I need you guys to go after the stream ends. Don't leave now, but when the stream ends, go visit Mario. Go hit go subscribe.
Bob Dylan's got you, right?
Yeah,
Bob?
please subscribe, so that way when I see Mario busting his ass on the stream, I can send him a super chat, right? And I can't do that until you hit 1,000, right? Subs, right?
Yeah. I got all the other criteria. I just need the subs right now. So
yeah.
And I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Same thing too for Mafia. Mafia's been busting his ass too on his channel. He's been pulling out some Christmas miracles too. As we're just all trying to, man, we're all trying to survive. We all want the good shit. And we're all falling.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, Mario's been busting his ass, dude, equally as much, man. And he's at 775 subscribers. Bob Dylan just put a link in the chat, dude, for Mario's channel. That would be great, man. We can get to you 1,000. I mean, probably not tonight, but man, you need 1,000 by New Year's, dude.
Yeah.
That would be a Christmas miracle, wouldn't it?
Then you'd be starting the new year fully ready to rock, dude.
Yeah.
I would encourage everybody, man.
Yeah.
Just subscribe to Mario.
Yeah. Not so what do we got here? The Hatalorian. Funny, this is the one year I didn't care and just pre-ordered whatever I want. Didn't stress over anything and couldn't be happier. Well, not everybody is Ebenezer Scrooge, right? Not everybody has the luxury of pre-ordering everything and then not worrying about it. Unlike some in the community, I have to watch my pennies because I am a little bit greedy. I do dabble in all the IPs. I don't paint myself into a corner. And unfortunately, the Hatalorian brings up a point, which is a little bit sour to me, Mario. I'm going to bring this to you, is that I've had to go back to pre-ordering. It's making me very sad.
Well, they're forcing our hands.
Well, bro, let me just say, I haven't pre-ordered in a while just because there's just so much shit coming out. I want to clear my list first, man, before I can go back into it again. That's my problem. And the shit that I need to pre-order is coming out now. That's the crazy thing, man. So I'm just having a hard time. I've said it before, man. I'm just having a hard time keeping my head above water, you know. So
me too.
But that's the game. That's the game, man. And now the way that things are changing, where we need to start pre-ordering, I personally don't want to do it yet. I'm not ready.
I hate it. I was so proud of my Google spreadsheet. Oh, I finally got under 40.
It's a game. You're like clearing the list.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute.
Now it's growing up. Now I was like, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't care what anybody says, man. It may be dramatic, but it's like under your head, man. Now Sideshow's like, you're gonna miss out. Sorry. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't believe in pre-order, but I've had to because I suffer through like toy anxiety to get toy anxiety. I'm like I need my Bark Speeder and I didn't pre-order it. Now it's on eBay for $750 and I have to pay shipping and tax and I'm there in bed, you know, like, why not just pre-order the damn thing, right? I hate that. I hate that, right?
That's the last thing you want to do, man. To miss out on something. I did that actually way back when with the Stormtrooper Luke. You know, I just never picked it up. And then when I was ready for it, it was, man. And when I was ready for it, it was gone. I was like, shit. And, you know, luckily I didn't pay that much for it over retail, but still, even still, man, that sucked because everything.
Dude, that hit me with was ready for retail. Endor, Leia, and Wicket.
Oh, that's right.
I was like,
did you miss out on her?
Well, yes and no, but I was like, I'll get her, and then she waitlisted her.
Bro, and then Endor, Leia, and Wicket was on Pop Culture earlier this year, not that long ago.
Oh, I don't know. I've had her forever. My point is, she had hit waitlist, and I was like, God damn it! I was just, but my waitlist converted like a few days later, so I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
it's those things, right? With Luke, you're like, I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna get it, and then when you're finally ready to get it, you're like, damn it, it just disappeared.
Right.
I hate that. Those are the worst ones.
And I've talked about this on your streams and my streams, and is that I like anticipating figures that spur the imagination, or I find, you know, really cool, unique, innovative. That Leia Wicket set, to me, I found badass. I thought that was cool as shit.
It is.
It was first time. Yeah. I want more Ewoks. I don't know why they're sleeping on that. Give me the chief.
Mind that.
They got the body. Just do the fur a little different, and
yeah,
throw in some other woodland accessories, and you're good to go, man. Like,
definitely, man.
Throw in a different helmet. You know, another trooper helmet. Whatever.
But
instead of that, they would give us a sequel, BB-8 and the Imperial Droid 2-pack or whatever it was, the BB-9 and BB-8. You know, so. But we do. It would be nice to get some more OT love. And Ewoks, you think that would be like an easy cash grab in a sense? I mean, it'd be an easy sell. You know, they would sell quickly with all the different variations of them. But
they could do another like Ewok 2-pack.
Oh yeah,
just two different Ewoks, or even 3. Shit.
Yeah,
they're small enough.
I would so friggin' eat it up. I would you know what I would? Oh, did I lose him?
We lost Anthony.
We lost him, but there you go. He's back. Here you go.
I hit the wrong button.
wrong button. You know what I would want, right? If they really wanted to celebrate an anniversary, give me Wicket and Sindel from
the Ewok Adventure.
For Battle of Endor.
Never gonna do it, bro. Never gonna give you.
You are on a good one, but
give me Jerry Curl, blonde little girl, Sindel,
right,
Wicket.
But what if they gave us Wicket with the glider instead?
Oh,
I mean, that would be cool. That would be cool, man, to get that glider, man.
Yeah,
that'd be all right.
Yeah, that would be cool.
He's not top tier enough to reissue him with a vehicle, though.
No,
I mean, realistically, I would love it, but maybe just give us a glider with a different Ewok.
You know how they would do it? Return of the Jedi. Was Wicket on a glider in Return of the Jedi, or was it just another Ewok?
No, it was another Ewok that was on the glider.
That's what I'm saying. Just give us a different Ewok.
Okay.
Give us a glider.
Yeah, the same way they did with the clone troopers on the bikes. You know, with the Apo and whoever the other clone was. Do the same with the glider and the Ewok, man.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
I need at least 7 or 8 Ewoks.
Wow.
I just want
a lot of killer
create
bears,
a nice
man.
Endor scene, right? Like,
well, who would you want? You want like Chief?
I don't care. Just
yeah.
As long as they look a little different. I don't even know all their names, bro. But like, just give us a bunch of Ewoks.
Yeah.
Have a 3PO sitting there on a throne.
Low-grade Chief Chirpa for sure.
Yeah, give us a couple of those. Man, I would, but I should probably be careful though, because in the same way we got like phase 1 and phase 2 of Attack of the Clones, and talk about swimming. Talk about they could do that.
They could be Attack of the Ewoks.
Right?
And they're just Zerg rushing us with
you know what, Danoby's gonna be like, you know what, it's our fault. We talked about this a couple months ago and here it is. We're sorry, man.
Hey, you know what?
Remember, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
I told I go, guys, stop asking for this shit. We need Bethpin Luke. Remember that?
Well, yeah, but the thing is with the Ewoks, they should be relatively affordable. Right?
You would think.
Well, you would think.
So
inflation's a bitch right now. So
they ain't selling me no fucking Ewok for $220.
Yeah.
Like they may try, but just for one.
Bro, and the what was it? The power droid with the Jawa, that was almost $300, dude.
I know.
And there's a lot of
another one I slept on. It's the only one I
priced.
don't have for OT. I was like, oh, I'll get it later. I'll get it later.
2-pack Ewok set, you're probably looking at easily $300+.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's right. That's how you get another. That's right. The Ewoks and the Blurg. Ewoks and the Blurg 2-pack.
The caravan.
The caravan of courage.
There you go. Let's do it.
There you go, man.
Like,
there you go. I worry about Return of the Jedi's anniversary because Hot Toys is falling behind. I think we'll see a lot of those pre-orders. I don't think we're going to see those on May the 4th. I think they're probably. I feel like they're still running about a year behind. Does anybody agree with that? Or I feel as far as pre-orders, they're falling behind as far as anniversary dates anyway. And so. Because I know the consensus within the community is that May the 4th, right? 2023, May the 4th, we'll get. It would make sense.
Well, what we'll get May the 4th is new announcements for most likely Return of the Jedi, but the releases aren't going to land in May.
I don't know, man. Well, last year what they did, or earlier this year, is that they gave us Bespin Luke before May 4th,
only by a week,
and we were all
like
thinking, well, what the hell are they going to give us May 4th? And then they gave us the Attack of the Clones anniversary set. So,
oh yeah, we're going to get some more Star Wars announcements for sure.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some right at the end of April.
But what's the priority? They didn't give a shit about Empire's 40th. You know what I'm saying? So what's going to be, what's going to be the priority? Are they going to continue to dive with the Mandalorian season 3 and capitalize? Or with Ahsoka from May 4th coming up?
Look,
or are they going to give us Return of the Jedi?
20th anniversary for arguably one of the worst movies in Star Wars. They're going to give us Return of the Jedi this year.
You would think, but
they'd have to.
They have to.
I mean,
you would, but the way that they've been neglecting the original triology, man, I don't see that.
Bro, they just dropped like 9-piece nugget on us, dude, with Attack of the Clones.
With Attack of the Clones,
Attack of the Clones, yeah.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Mario's implying that they're segregating the classic trilogy from the prequels. That's what you're implying.
Yeah. I just feel like the original trilogy.
Do you feel that maybe they're doing that because the new generation likes the prequels more than the originals?
Probably. The newer generation, these kids probably have more money to spend.
They're not feeling Lando and the Garbs, so I mean,
yeah. So what's the possibility of a Lobot coming out? That's another one that'll just sit there as well, man. So
look at IG. I mean, technically, he's the same model specs droid.
IG-11,
like IG-88.
Yeah, IG-88. Yeah. So, and I mean, he was part of the BOGO. So you don't think they see those numbers like, oh, Pirate Strike, the one thing we're getting from the classic trilogy that's probably a safe bet is Bespin Luke.
Sure, they've said it. Well, so I mean,
yeah, we're not. I stopped holding my breath for Han, Bespin Han. They can tease it all you want until it comes out. I'm not buying that. Look at this point. I'm more likely to put a heavy bet on the N1 Starfighter versus the Bespin Han Solo. At this point.
Yeah, but listen here though, right?
Yeah.
It's really going to depend in March or April when Indiana Jones comes out, because if Hot Toys drops a new and old man Indy, then we're going to get a Han. Because at that point, it's just about likeness rights. They've secured that.
Maybe.
You understand what I'm saying? It's just like how we're getting Padme now.
Yeah.
After Thor, it's like, well, we can totally do it because it's contractual for the actor or the actress. So if they throw enough money at Harrison Ford for Indy, it's like kind of an all-encompassing thing. They'll be like, well, we're gonna make Han Solo while we can.
You would think, but we all know Harrison Ford is notoriously favorable of Indy over Star Wars.
Sure. Yep. If he signs a contract where he's like, you can create Indiana Jones, but stay the fuck away from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Then sure. But at the same time, bro, listen, here's where I call bullshit though, because we had a New Hope Han Solo and we had Stormtrooper disguise Han Solo with an entirely new head sculpt.
Yeah.
And then they gave us Old Man Force Awakens Han Solo after the fact.
They did.
So if they, you know what I mean? And that was 2017, 2018. So, and people were bitching prior to that. We need a Bespin Han.
Oh, yeah.
So, and if he gave the likeness for the damn sequels, whatever they're called, I feel like, dude, every man has his price, right?
Sure.
There's money there. He's not going to turn that down.
And that pack wasn't cheap. That Han and Chewie 2-pack, that was expensive at the day. Wasn't that like $520?
Like $600. I think it was.
Yeah.
It was around 600, I believe.
Was it? Maybe you're right.
Or 520, maybe 530, maybe 530. But I thought
it was 530, and then when you add some tax and shipping, it was not a cheap set. I just remember at the time that was not a cheap set. I was like, this is expensive for $2017. You're like, ooh, what's?
Yeah.
The only thing I ended up buying from that was that's the Chewbacca I have. I have the Force Awakens Chewbacca. I bought him because he was sold separately. So I ended up buying him. And look, both versions of Chewbacca are not winners. So I needed a Chewbacca in my collection. I settled for the Force Awakens.
Well, the more you stare at the original one, the more not as bad it really is.
Well, I don't even see the initial problem.
Yeah.
For me personally, like I look at my Chewie and I'm like, well, it's Chewbacca.
It's too dark. It's too dark, man. It needs to be just a little bit lighter.
But I guess I just don't see it. I just see a Wookiee. I'm like, oh, there's Chewie.
Sure. Yeah, man.
I get it. It's not 100% accurate, but I don't look at him where I'm like, ew, like he looks horrible or something. I
never assumed that. I just know there was a lot of unwarranted hate.
There's always something, dude.
And I thought it was okay. I'm like, it's not a winner. I was like, oh,
right. Now the Force Awakens, he looks like a dog. I don't. He does he's.
I've seen that one modded. And it looks way better after the fact.
Go spend some more money and mod your
Force Awakens. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I never bought into the mod.
I don't want to do
that.
No, I don't believe in this one. This comment here, Mothma. Currently, Disney hates the original trilogy. I don't believe that. You mean if you mean a certain individual within Lucasfilm, I might be able to chew on that, but I don't believe Disney. Disney spent a mint to acquire the Star Wars brand. They spent billions. They expect billions back, and it hasn't been a smooth path to win it because their first Star Wars,
dude.
Yeah, their first Star. I mean, their first Star Wars film that bombed was Solo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you go back in the history and you see people's opinions on it that, look, if there wasn't a lot of studio intervention, the film would have been profitable because there was a ton of reshoots. If you would have just
New
left the
director.
director, they switched directors.
It was Aldrin Ehrenreich that was complaining that Lord and Miller weren't taking it seriously, that they were rewriting, some of the movie, and then he was concerned, and then that's why, KK stepped in and got Ron Howard on set, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows how that would have come out?
Who knows? But the point is, you end up spending just as much money, double the amount in reshoots and pay, because
isn't that what's so damn perplexing though? This is why I feel like we're in an alternate timeline. There is a multiverse, because if you think about it, when Lucas was doing the originals, he had to really fight tooth and nail. He had to finance his own shit. He created ILM. He had a good support group around him. Right, the executives and the studios were like, "No, fuck you," but he built a good team around him, and you know how teamwork. It's teamwork, right? He had a good team with him, and then he starts. You know what? I'm gonna make some prequels, and he did not have a good team around him. He had nothing but yes men that were just sure with all these ridiculous ideas. Let's just George do whatever he's gonna do, and he fucked it all up, right? And he had so much hate that he's like, whatever. So he sold it. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah,
he really did. You guys remember that shit? I mean, it was like he's done.
He regrets selling it. He regrets.
Hell yeah, I'm sure he does now. But then you sell it to one of the largest companies on the planet, which have like God money, and they don't even know what to do with the property. They're like, write whatever you want. Oh, this guy did episode 7. Do whatever you want for episode 8. Doesn't matter. Like, how do you do that when you have all this kind of money? If you don't have the talent, okay, that's one thing. But you have the money, which buys the talent.
Yeah.
So how do you completely you see what I'm saying? In a different world, man, Star Wars would have been like amazing start to finish, and it just blows my mind.
The film Solo didn't even have to be a complicated film. All it needed was one simple adventure, and then they complicated it with like the villain. No, you missed a golden opportunity to show the first relationship building with Jabba the Hutt. That was it. One, like Han, you have to go on a Kessel Run mission. You're going to meet up with Jabba the Hutt. You have to it's way overcomplicated it. Just, you missed the opportunity. Why didn't we meet Jabba the Hutt in his prime? We're meeting Han Solo in his prime. We know from the classic trilogy New Hope that Han Solo and Jabba the Hutt have already an old established relationship. Why didn't you touch on that? That's the same thing that was brought up with like the Green Lantern, where they saved Sinestro for part 2. No, the Green Lantern should have been the Green Lantern, the first movie, and Sinestro. And they sandbagged it thinking the movie was going to be a hit. Same thing with Solo, right? Who gives a shit? You could have had Jabba the Hutt. I think we're going to get, and then the Hutt species shows up on Book of Boba Fett in CG form, right? Did they use any puppetry?
I don't think so.
They're missing a golden opportunity to puppet Jabba the Hutt again. They don't understand what type of nostalgia you can get by doing that. And not everything has to be shit. That's why we're going back to having real human beings and stormtroopers. Remember with the prequels with George is like, look, the clone troopers aren't even real.
They're all
like,
CG, yeah.
They're all CG. Some more Morrison heads floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so proud of that shit too, George. Look, I don't have to build. George, this is not going to age well. This is aging like milk.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. And I agree. Well, I think with Favreau and Filoni, I think more so Filoni. Favreau's an all right dude, but I think Filoni's really the one steering the ship. And they had like the Gamorrean guards in Mando or Boba. Like they're using more prosthetics. They're building more on-set props and droids.
You have
maybe a little bit of mix of CG, but they're still trying to do all that hands-on stuff because you're right. Like, that's the charm.
Yep.
Okay? There's no charm in the prequels. It's all just blue screened or green screen.
Well, look at what they did with Andor as well. Andor was the first one that actually didn't film
location,
inside
right?
in the volume. They went on location, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're, bringing it back. All the volume, in my opinion, I mean, when done right, it looked amazing.
Oh, it's
you know,
great.
there were yeah, it looked great.
It can't be abused. The problem is that it's being abused.
Sure.
And now now the audience is now trained to spot the volume now.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go on location.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame that Andor finally has a big budget. Maybe that's why Kathleen Kennedy's out the door next year. She spent a mint on Andor. Nobody's watching it. It's no secret. Oh no, Andor's the best show in Star Wars. Yeah, but it's like Peter and the Wolf. You've burned us too many times. No one gives a shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
For the most part, it's true. Like, I haven't finished Andor. I watched 3 or 4 episodes.
Right.
And it's not that I don't want to, because I want good story, and everybody says it's good and great. And but I'm like, well, yeah, man, you said that about Obi-Wan. You said that about Boba Fett.
The number one rule with Star Wars has always been to sell merchandise. It's to sell toys. George has always made that clear. And if you don't make the characters fun and engaging and adventurous, no one cares.
And that's what Andor was missing to me, was that sense of adventure. Although it was good as far as like from an acting standpoint, you know, and the cast, it was amazing. Everything was great, but again, not having that, you know, sense of adventure. I mean, not necessarily being familiar with like all the, you know, bringing back fan service, TIE fighters, lightsabers. I don't give a shit about that. You know, just the adventure was just kind of, you know, wasn't as much as I guess I would expect. You know,
you look at the original trilogy. You can even harken back on that. There was no Star Wars. It was just Star Wars. You don't know who the fuck Luke Skywalker is. You don't know what Darth Vader is. You don't even know if he's human. It didn't matter. You had zero attachment to these characters.
But that was well
immediately
paced.
had that sense of adventure. Movie, though. Yeah. Right. You see what I'm saying though? It still captures you in this. You have this adventure going on. You have these hero journeys. You know, these arcs of characters that you end up like, you know, they become modern mythology. You know. And that's one thing I think they're lacking. They tried to bank in, like with Boba Fett. They bank in on this nostalgia, and then just didn't have any aim or direction.
I would suggest like finishing Andor at least, man.
I will eventually. I'll watch it eventually.
Did you get through Danoby?
I have not seen any. I just don't care. People have been trying to get me to watch the Jedi Adventures, the tune. I'm like, I don't care. Why do I care about Dooku? He got his ass kicked. I just don't. I never found him that engaging in the prequel. So why do I want to learn more about his backstory? It's kind of like it to me. For me, it mirrors Black Widow in their film. I haven't seen Black Widow. Well, you should see Black Widow. It's free on Disney Plus. Who cares? Her story ended, you know, when she fell down for the Soul Stone. I don't care what happened after Civil War events. It's just, no, it doesn't do it for me. Not everything has to go back prequel style. How about pushing the story forward and that's the thing.
Let me put it this way. Not to take away from Andor, because I know it's a good show. I do. But if Andor took place present day, I bet your ass I would have watched every single episode. I just would have been engaged. I mean, like, this takes place after episode 9, right? It's current in the Star Wars mythos. But going back pre-OT, post-Rogue One, which is still pre-OT, it's weird, right? So I didn't feel, for me, I kind of agree with Danoby on that. You know, it's kind of like, well, I know what happens.
What? Yeah.
I've seen the movies. So the prequel, do I need? I don't know. Does that make
sense? Let's go back and spend 8 hours to learn how the rebellion was formed on the first Death Star. The first Death Star, the second Death Star was bigger and it looked cooler. Why do I want to go? Fuck that. I don't want to watch it. It's engaging story. Yeah, but it's not going to go anywhere because we know how it kind of ends. And then my biggest gripe with that is that they put the asshole in charge. Cassian Andor. He wasn't that well. Again, look, this could be one of the reasons why there's a big shakeup in Disney now. A lot of bad decisions. It's kind of hard to defend moving forward since people are getting axed on Disney employees and then Lucasfilm. I mean, it seems to be somewhat canon now that KK is out the door after Indiana Jones. She needs to go.
That's what it sounds like. The thing too. Well, they also halted all production on new shit. And then they got rid of Bob Paycheck and then brought back Iger.
I actually heard there's a new trilogy in the works.
Right, they say that, but they backburned everything. They were like, we don't have plans for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah.
Because I think they're trying to completely restructure Lucasfilms, which is
Yeah.
what we're seeing
They're
the
trying to
shifts right
restructure
now.
the whole damn company right now after Chapek is
Yep.
out the door.
Well,
Iger's
yeah,
got to go in there and
but-
clean
Yep.
house right now.
That's
It's-
it. It's cleaning house. Yeah. A lot of the mistakes. Yeah.
Well, they're not going to risk putting out a budget for another film that's going to flop.
No, they weren't. They even put all the Marvel they put everything on hold, man.
Yeah,
everything's
on hold.
Everything under the
So-
umbrella of Disney.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob Iger's coming in. He's checks and balances now. What did Bob Chapek do? He pissed off the shareholders.
Dude,
Shareholders
yeah,
are
he did.
king.
Yeah, he
Don't fuck
Yeah,
with
but
the shareholders.
but you know, Bob Iger's the one that set up this bullshit to begin with. So it's kind
difference
of like
is difference is we love the
devil you
shareholders
know?
shareholders loved Bob Iger.
yeah.
Bob Chapek, I mean, he did a lot of seedy shit. He came off the gates just doing stupid shit with the whole Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson. It was one thing after the other. He had no PR skills. Remember, it's all song and dance. You just keep the shareholders happy, right? When Bob Iger came back, the stock climbed a few points, so just mismanagement. She needs to go. She needs to go back. Leave. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go back to doing what she was doing good and being a producer. She was a badass.
Well, I think she'll
producer.
just probably she'll just bow out gracefully.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic producer.
Let me
She
call out
is.
Ecto 1701 in the chat mentions that they'll probably reboot Star Wars like DC is doing. Do you guys think that can happen? That Star Wars could eventually be rebooted?
No,
I think the universe is too vast. I don't think so. I don't think ever.
No, they're gonna do either more prequels or forward into the future. 1,000 years later, after they're gonna do some wacky timelines. I mean, isn't that what the one of the new upcoming shows is?
The Acolyte's actually going backwards.
Yeah. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do some time because again, you have to. The real money for Star Wars is you have to get us to buy these toys, and we're not feeling it. We're not spending. I mean, look, they're going back. They're playing it to Hot Toys. Like, well, shit. We don't know what's going on with the sequel trilogy, so let's go back to Phantom Menace and have some anniversary shenanigans here.
If they can go way back and give us Knights of the Old Republic, I'm cool with that. That's 3,000-4,000 years ago.
Anything outside of the Skywalker family line, Jesus Christ, I'm over that.
I'm over
anything.
that too.
I get that.
Just
I totally
anything.
Get that, yeah.
Just give us anything. I'm not trying to. I don't hate Kathleen Kennedy. It's just mismanagement. To me, that's what it is. And I'm not buying any of the stupid woke nonsense. It's just bad stories. Solo, all you needed was a simple story of Han meeting Jabba the Hutt. That was it. Meet up with Chewbacca. I was fine with how he got his last name Solo. Fine. Just give it, his first spice run. Right, that's all they had to do. They made it. They just overcomplicated it. It's just stupid.
Well, I feel like they needed. I didn't mind Solo. I didn't think it was a bad movie.
I enjoyed it, man.
I felt it was adequate. Like, listen, this is me being real. I watched it once. It was okay. I haven't seen it again. I haven't had a desire to watch it again.
Solo was a breath of fresh air, man. After coming off of The Last Jedi.
Oh well,
I think that's what made me enjoy it. That much more.
But just because you gave me diarrhea and now all of a sudden you're giving me normal bowel movements again doesn't mean I'm like satisfied. It just means I'm tolerant now again.
It depends on how severe your diarrhea was.
You see what I'm saying? So for me, I didn't think Solo was a bad film, but I think it wasn't connected enough to the OT. It felt like a complete solo movie, for lack of a better word, right? Like it just was its own thing. You could take away Han Solo. You can call him somebody else, and that's how I felt. It was just this disconnection for the most part. I think if they would have tied in more, like Danoby's saying, bringing the Hutts, something, just tie it more into OT, I think it would have been more enjoyable for me.
That is it. That's all you had to do. Do you think Jon Favreau will take the mantle? Because I feel sorry for anybody that takes the mantle for Lucasfilm. Do you think somebody who loves Star Wars needs to take over Star Wars?
Filoni. I think
Filoni ain't got the chops for it though, bro.
I agree with Anthony.
He can still be. Let him continue to be groomed up until he can be.
Well, I think Favreau can do it from a production standpoint.
But Favreau's not going to want to be held down. He's a creative. He's done all kinds of other shit, dude.
Every man has his price, bro.
There you go. I agree with that too. Everybody's he's
you drop me that fat salary, dude, with all these bonuses that I'm like, I'm good. I am
but then
control.
to a degree, and then his work shows that he stops giving a shit because he wants to do something
I don't
else.
think he would though,
man.
because if he was like, if they were like, hey, listen, and I don't actually agree with Kevin Feige anymore. I think he's just kind of given up. But at the time,
I think he's broken. Not giving him. I think he's broken.
Yeah, okay, fair point. But my point is, if they were like, you can be like a Feige of Star Wars, you know, like Phase 1, you know, like here you go, and you have Filoni with you, right, as like the creative director or something along those lines, and Favreau can run the joint. He can kind of oversee a little bit, let Filoni just play in the sandbox, and they've got a win-win situation there. Filoni can bring in some other talent that he's worked with before. He knows his shit. So he'd be like, you don't know Star Wars, get the fuck out, you know, or something along. They can tighten that. You know what I'm saying? They can run a tight ship, dude, and just print money.
I think as long as Filoni is like up there and alongside with whoever's running it, because he's the heir, dude. He's Lucas's heir, bottom line, and he has a passion for the IP, you know. So that's why if they plug him in when he's ready, I think they can bring Star Wars back to his glory.
James Gunn is I support James Gunn, whatever he's doing. Look, it breaks my heart that they got rid of my boy Henry Cavill, but the DC universe has been a friggin' mess. It just is. And
it's an old man who's been falling down a hill trying to grab onto whatever he can grab onto.
I said this. I said Black. I don't know if I said it on a live stream. I know I've said it to several friends. I go, Black Adam is going to be the death to Henry Cavill. Oh, you'll be a cameo. I go, if this movie doesn't do good, he's going to take down my boy. I remember telling that to several friends. Henry Cavill, especially the way that The Rock was aggressively promoting this film. I'm like, oh my God, this film is trash. Yeah. I go, this guy is going hard promoting this thing. And he has my boy cameo in it. I go, if this film sucks, he's taking, and that's what he did. He's like, oh, sorry, Henry, you're out of here.
Well, listen, that's The Rock though, bro. That dude, you know, he completely fucked up the whole Fast and Furious stuff. You know, he's a control guy. Like, that's just who he is. I'm not saying those movies were fucking Oscar worthy.
I don't think he's a good actor. I really don't.
Yeah, it's just he's got too big of an ego, and I get that he wanted to be Black Adam, and that's cool. But I mean, yeah, the movie wasn't that great. We already know that. That's another. I wouldn't say it's a train wreck.
I don't want to see it. It's free on. I have HBO Max. I'm not watching that shit. No freaking way.
It's not bad. It's just.
Ooh, ew. No, I'm not watching that.
Right, but when you keep having like DC just stumbling,
yeah,
and then you get another mediocre film, you're like, Jesus Christ, just reboot this shit. Yeah. Just reboot it, because the problem is they shot their load too early, is what they did, because they were like, how do we compete with Marvel? We can't do a fucking a bunch of solo origin films. Fuck it, here's the Justice League. Like, what? Like, you could have built it. Just copy them. All great people do that. Learn from the best, and then create your stuff, man. Get your own inspiration. And it's like, they were just like, here's Superman. Oh, now he's dead. Like, they should have saved that way later. This whole Doomsday arc. You know, they could have built an expansive, rich universe.
They were very, very, very greedy. Let me address this really quick. Ask Chase, thank you so much for the super chat. My Christmas just got a little bit better. I opened up a gift from a friend and was laughing so hard. My Christmas got better. She's a wonderful person. That's good to hear. So
awesome,
absolutely, it's all about the Christmas cheer and then the Christmas spirit. You'll get another thanks too, Ash. Go ahead. Here you go. Cinnamon, say hi.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Danoby extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye-bye.
God bless you, Cinnamon.
The benefits of living in Vegas, bro.
Love to see it.
Oh my God, see, they got greedy. You know, and I remember saying this. Warner Brothers should have been the first DCEU versus Marvel. They had multiple opportunities 20 years prior to build their own Justice League, and they got lazy. They didn't have the chops. Marvel does it, blows it out of the water, and they're like, we have legacy characters too. Well, you didn't have faith in it because we've all heard the story from Kevin Feige and Marvel and everybody. Everything there was a leap of faith. They had no idea it was going to be a success. They're like, we're gambling. We don't know what we don't know if this is going to be good. And it worked out. It worked out.
It was a huge gamble.
Yeah, huge gamble.
And that's why they picked such a D-list character, a.k.a. Iron Man. I hate to break it to you kids, but nobody gave a shit about the Avengers growing up. They didn't. It was
Did you know? Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me pause you right there. Iron Man was part of the bankruptcy Marvel sell-off with the X-Men and Spider-Man, and nobody bought him. Nobody cared. Like Iron Man, that's trash. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. As a comic reader my whole life, bro. They look in the 60s, the Avengers were kind of all right? But I wasn't around then. When the 80s hit, dude, it was all Spider-Man, Secret Wars, fucking Punisher, X-Men, the Chris Claremont days coming through, and then the 90s exploded. It was just massive Spider-Man, massive, Jim Lee taking over, doing X-Men. Like, it was so popular, it was not that big of a deal. That is why Marvel sold Spider-Man and sold X-Men to Sony and Fox, respectively, because those were their fucking hitters. Those were their heavy hitters. They were going bankrupt.
Yeah.
And that's what they had to do. And then they had that clause in with Fox where it's like, as long as you make a movie, and Fantastic Four, because that's their biggest, that was huge too. That was Stan Lee's fucking hoorah when it came out, right? That went to Universal. And the thing is they were like, if you don't make a movie within 2 years, you forfeit the contract. So Fox was just puking out these garbage X-Men movies.
They sure
they wanted to hold on to the money.
Yeah.
They would lose the contract. And then the acquisition of Marvel, from Disney started to change things. And then they acquired Lucasfilm. Now they were like, all right, now we've got some heavy hitters and we're going to start making some bank. How do we get Marvel back the way it needs to be? Well, let's just buy Fox. Right? Every man has his price.
Yep.
So they buy Fox because they get the original, because Fox had the original distribution for the original trilogy, by the way, right? They've had that forever. It was Fox Video for,
the original Star Wars
Empire.
they had distribution for.
Right. So, and they were holding X-Men hostage.
Yes.
So it's like a win-win in that sense. And then they just kind of settled with Sony. So now Sony's doing it. Now they're puking out everything. Mobius. They're going to give us Silver Sable and fucking Craven, and they're going to do everything in the Spider world.
They don't want to give up their their golden boy Spider-Man. They're
not going to do it. So, but they're at least collabing with Marvel, right? They're kind of cross promoting them now.
Yeah.
But this is all happened in the past since 2008.
Yeah.
2006, really, when Marvel was going bankrupt yet again. So no, like, long story short, the Avengers weren't really that great. They weren't. And so it's a testament to Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige that they could take somebody like Iron Man and make him the richest.
And Josh Whedon, he has to get credit. Josh Whedon.
Well, the Avengers was pretty good.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying in the beginning,
the
beginning was Jon Favreau.
Josh Whedon too. Yeah.
But
you're right,
for Iron Man is what I'm just saying, right?
Okay.
They were like, let's take the gamble. And they took it and they turned it into gold. So, and I'm not saying the Avengers sucked. It's just they weren't as possible. They weren't as popular. If you looked at comic book sales, I read the Avengers in the 80s and 90s too. But it just the comic sales, everybody was running off for Spider-Man, everybody was running off for X-Men and Superman.
Yeah.
91, 92 hit, man, Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, all this crazy shit was going on. Avengers was kind of chilling.
So I don't know, you guys know this, but Marvel kept the merchandising rights for all of they sold the movie rights. So the studios can keep the box office tickets and they can keep any multimedia like video games and things like that. But when it came to like the action figures, Marvel Studio, they kept it. And the amount of money that they generated from the first Spider-Man and the second one, especially the part 2 with Doc Ock, that's when they then spun off and they created the subsidiary Marvel Studios, and they started, and then that's when they made the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man. But they made so much money from the merchandise. Oh, and from the X-Men. Remember, the X-Men 1 was a huge hit. X-Men 2.
Yeah, hey, let's not forget. No merch.
Huh?
No merch.
For
Don't forget that shit. For X-Men.
For what?
You couldn't buy X-Men figures forever.
Until the movie.
For the movie, though, right?
No, you couldn't. No,
yes,
only for a little bit, and then they completely killed it.
No,
dude, they were thriving with the
Toy Biz made all the X-Men action figures.
What I'm talking. All right, perhaps I'm confusing you guys.
You're talking about the comic books. They stopped.
No, I'm talking about Fox. When Fox got the X-Men license and they started making those movies, they had limited merchandising for like 3 years, and that was the contract.
I was told they never had it. They
did because I still have some. I have X-Men Origins Wolverine licensed branded action figures, right?
Okay.
But they would call them like comic concepts or comic series, right?
Okay.
And then that was a wrap, and then they killed it, and then it was cut off, and you couldn't find you couldn't get anything, bro.
Okay. Well, and I know that the embargo was comic book and novel related or comic book
comics
related?
No, Marvel could still rock it, but what happened was, so they killed the merchandise on, because here's the thing, this was all leading up to this, where Marvel's like, fuck dude, we really fucked up, now we're doing good and we need our X-Men back. Okay, what do? Kill all X-Men merchandise, which is what they did, and then in the comics they started doing shit. They did the Death of Wolverine run. They killed off Wolverine. They were going to keep him dead for a while, because why are we going to get people to be interested in fucking Wolverine and buying comics, and then they're going to get excited and they're going to go watch Fox? Oh, I can't wait for another, whatever. So they were doing everything they could just to completely just screw all, because they were the ones making the money, not Marvel. They want their shit back. So it was this crazy. I remember, bro, I'd go to like Target or Toys R Us or something with Sean, and there's nothing. No X-Men.
But that must have been later on. But what me and Mario are referring to are the early aughts, the early 2000s, where Toy Biz ran rampant, right? Because I was buying them. I was X2 action figures, X-Men.
Right.
So that must have been probably
it was right around 2008 or 9 when X-Men Origins Wolverine came out.
Yeah. And
which
then
was a surprisingly pretty good video game, but at that time they clipped it.
That was when they stopped with the Fantastic Four. They stopped making the comic books too for Fantastic Four.
Well, you have to understand that during this time period where they cut the cord, was 2 years after Disney's acquisition of Marvel.
Okay.
So they must have just had that in the contract. We're like, okay, we own it now. You can go for the next 2 years. Almost like a non-compete clause. You know how usually something like you start a new business or something, you have like a 2 year it's something like that, right? Similarly, we had this with Netflix. Marvel got the rights back, but Marvel themselves in the contract with Netflix had a non-compete clause, so they could not use Daredevil, they could not use Punisher, they could not use any Netflix.
I remember that now. Okay,
right? Netflix characters. Yeah, and now we're finally seeing Matt Murdock again. Yeah, because they couldn't do it, even though they got the rights back. I'm like, yo, you still gotta wait. Yeah, there's all these contracts in place. Yeah. So,
and then the Hulk is with Universal Studios, right? The Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the clause with the Hulk is that Marvel's not allowed to make a solo Hulk movie. They cannot.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why they didn't do.
Expiring soon.
I don't know when it is, if it is, but that's why we didn't get World War Hulk. We had World War Hulk mixed into to fucking Ragnarok because they couldn't do a World War Hulk movie. They can't do a solo movie. So like, well, how do we incorporate World War Hulk?
They got a different deal because they're locked into Hulk perpetuity or something, like, because they haven't made a movie, they haven't done anything with the Hulk, but yet they still have the keys. And I remember like even John Campea said it was like it's complicated with the deal that Universal Studios got with the Hulk. Like they don't have a theatrical clause, meaning that every 2 to 3 years they have to pump out a movie. That's why with Sony we ended up getting like the Amazing Spider-Man just a few years after part 3 ended, because they had to, or they would lose it, right? Like, so
that's why we got Tom Holland. People were like, really? We just had Andrew Garfield, right? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like really, Do we need an Uncle Ben story again? Do we need it? You know, it's all about those money in contracts, bro.
That's all it is.
Let's say everyone in the chat, same thing, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. They didn't have any X-Men in the latest Marvel vs. Capcom. Because that was another thing. They were like, we're not going to put X-Men in there. And I didn't get the game. I was like, nope. Not going to have X-Men? This is Disney Heroes vs. Capcom Light. I was like, this sucks. This is not, that was another reason. So it wasn't until lately we're seeing stuff, right? We saw Professor X in this Elseworlds kind of scenario, in multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's not going to be Professor X, but they can hint into things. They can talk about stuff. They can say the word mutant again. They couldn't even say that.
Yeah.
That's why Wanda and Pietro are called enhanced or whatever the fuck they call them.
Yeah, or some or Inhumans, right? Or something. Or
they couldn't call them mutants.
Yeah.
Like the word mutant was owned by Fox.
Yeah.
That's part of the contract.
Yeah. I thought that was one of the great deals that Bob Iger did, was finally closing on that. But look, it's just bad timing. It's not his fault, right? He didn't know the world was going to end in 2020.
Sure. Yeah, nobody did.
But we all thought it was a good deal. So
I still think it is. What did they spend? The $48 billion?
It's in the billions.
Fox?
Yeah. It was 70 something, dude.
Yeah.
70?
It was like
dude, it wasn't as much as fucking Microsoft buying Activision.
No shit, really?
Dude, they paid like $400 and something billion.
Jesus.
Oh wow!
Like, I was like, oh my god! I thought the Fox.
But if anybody
company
can do it, freaking Microsoft.
Sure, but my whole point is, Iger, I think, is right in that sense.
Yeah,
because they're gonna make all that money back with X-Men.
But that wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan originally. Iger at the time was trying to build up Disney Plus. Still,
right. But
that's why that's what the whole Fox acquisition was for. The X-Men was just a
content,
benefit.
All of that, right? Like there's a long game. These guys are looking at like the next 100 years, bro. They really are. They really are.
Dude, how the hell is the Clone Trooper have a full wait list?
Because everybody wanted a Clone Trooper, dude.
Yeah, but
like, what the fuck it?
History
got on the wait
taught
list.
us, dude. Troopers sell, dude. Especially with clones right now in this era. This is a standalone shiny trooper. This should be available, more
everywhere.
widely.
Yeah,
everywhere. Well, exactly, man.
They're going off of true pre-order numbers, and this is the Clone Trooper was one of the ones that was like, well, maybe they'll expand it. I think we're past that. I don't know about these extended batches where it's been theorized that, look, it'll go on a wait list and then it'll kick back into pre-order once it starts to ship. And then I don't, because I know they did that with several figures. I just don't think this 2.0 Hot Toys is going to play that game.
I still think that if they see that the demand is there and there's money left on the table, I think there's still more batches that will be released later on down the line. Even though we see sold out and the wait list is full.
But the money on the table, excuse though, Mario, is being applied to everything that's on wait list. That's something I think even Mario, the Peacemaker, there's money on the. Well, not everything is
not necessarily, but I mean, but if history, if they can go off of history, what sells? I mean, Troopers is obvious.
Yeah,
something like that. Collectors actually troop build, man. When the clones first came out, man, you saw people buying them by the freaking case.
But Mario, this isn't the first trooper that's been a low batch, even before low batches were a thing. Remember?
The Remnant Trooper was one too, right? The Gunner. The Death Star Gunner is a different animal, bro.
I know, but Remnant Trooper, right? It's reinvigorating people's love for Star Wars with the Mandalorian. We get a new trooper who's slightly different and weathered, and he's all old. It's the remnants of the empires. Nothing. Shit sold out so quick, but they had bigger batches then. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things, and I get it. You're like, well, it's a clone. It's like it's a vanilla, like bread and butter clone. There's nothing about it.
It should be an easy.
And the fact that it comes with the phase 1 and phase 2 helmet is what I'm saying. We can that would sell. It comes with both helmets.
Yeah, it does. It's a 501st essentially without like a couple of things.
Damn, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why this should be more readily available, man. Because then you got Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Do you have them on pre-order, Mario? I don't. I missed out.
I missed out too, man. I do not have these on pre-order.
I'm gonna play because I have Torpedo Comics here in Vegas, and they don't do pre-orders, but they get like 3 of each to their store. So I'm gonna have to play the local comic book, chase it down.
I'll do the same for sure.
I don't have a choice. I'm not missing out on it. It's a plain clone. You're right. It doubles as both versions. it sucks because even Alter Ego was my backup, and they're sold out. Like, yeah, we're not.
Well, look, there's no difference though, because listen, I'm gonna, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna sympathize with the prequel fans out here, right? To me, the Clone Trooper, what we're looking at right here, is the same exact thing as an original trilogy Stormtrooper. And for me, I always said original trilogy Stormtrooper should be just fucking year round.
No, it's not. Is it really above?
For me.
Oh,
for
okay.
me. Okay. I look at it that way, right? So for people who are into the prequels, this is their Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You know, these are the basic, you know, and for us OT guys, dude, our Stormtroopers always sell out. You're like, damn it. Right? I think they should both be just year round, just on the printing press, like, because people just want to have basic troopers, whether they're fans of the original or they're fans like here with the prequel. They want the clones. It's same thing. It's so
you're saying an exception should be made because it's the generic standard.
Yeah, they're just straight plain vanilla troopers. Just people want those to build. Like, I get if you're like, well, you ran out of Luke Skywalker, but you know, faceless, you know, buckets. It's like, come on, man. I think it's so strange that they did this with these guys. Now, yeah, they're going to give you the commander, right? Is it the commander, the captain, whatever, the guy with the yellow?
Yeah,
so
that was my biggest fear too. Is that the clone pilot also has two different helmets, and there's value in both. Like there's value in both, and this one same thing too. Different head sculpts. I mean, we eat this stuff up right here, right? Is that it? They both. Or no, hold on.
No, that's the commander that they teased before they announced him.
That's the standard clone pilot. There you go.
That's the Clone Wars pilot helmet.
Yeah, the animated one.
So there's two different helmets there. So yeah, you get two different variants within one figure. So why wouldn't you want two if you're trying to troop build? I even suggested, like, look, we're never going to see a true 1/6 scale gunship, but could we see like a diorama of like the opening bay of a gunship? Because they kind of teased it in this show, right? They kind of did you anybody catch the gunship
gunner seat or something like that?
Right, or just like a cockpit diorama or something.
Did you see like the seat bench? They kind of like teased.
Oh yeah, they teased like just this some makeshift 3D printed thing. But
it is. But it was
they teased them like hovering, like they're sitting
exactly. Yeah, it was still kind of like a semi tease.
Sure, I grant that. Yeah, and make no mistake, dude, these are badass. I just I can't collect everything, so I just said, you know what, I'm not getting prequels. But I would love to have a couple of these pilots, a couple of the commanders, a ton of the just regular clone troopers. That's badass. 'Cause I'm a trooper guy too, but you know, then it's like, damn, I don't have the space for this shit. So I just, if I'm collecting Star Wars, I'm just my OT. But I feel for people. Like, damn, these are gone.
I'm with Mario. I think Mario, do you suffer anxiety too? Because I'm terrified of missing out.
Yes, I do, man. I mean, Danoby, I was like that with the pop culture sale, man. Because I can get these ones now. Then when I let the funds replenish, I gotta hurry up and get these other ones because I'm afraid they're all gonna sell out. You know, so yeah, I definitely.
Did you pre-order this guy? Tell me you pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered nothing from Attack of the Clones.
Oh my god. Oh
yeah, boy. The last thing I pre-ordered, I think, was that I still owe is
whoa.
I think the Blurg, Mando and the Blurg along with Hunter.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Then I gotta redo the entire everything.
I don't like using the G word, but I think this one's gonna be a grail. I'm sensing a disturbance. This is the very first protocol droid from Hot Toys, die cast. And you know how Hot Toys is. It could be several years before we see another protocol droid. I think this son of a bitch is going to blow up. And a kick in the balls. Look at the battle droid head. If you want to swap out, you can. If you want to recreate, the scene where his head gets swapped out in the Geonosian arena, it's two different characters. I think that's what Nate was even joking about. I don't know if Nate pre-ordered was like, yeah, you have two different characters. You have C-3PO, and then you have the part where he's in the droid factory and he loses his head. So
you can make the same argument for the battle droid with a 3PO head.
Yeah, the same exact. It is a symbiotic relationship.
100%, dude. I don't like saying it either, but this is a gray old.
I know.
I know. It is. I know.
I refuse to say this is a grill yet.
No, because look, man, the reason why, Mario, you're apprehensive about it is you're like me in the same sense. I would much rather have original trilogy C-3PO. I would be like, well, that's a great OT, but this is still the first diecast. It's Attack of the Clones, the prequel.
It doesn't matter. This is the first. They've got the mold, and they can go and expand upon other protocol droids.
But they won't do it for Attack of the Clones
and other ones too that were in like Rebels too. They can do that one too.
True, but I do feel we're never going to see an Attack of the Clones C-3PO. Now, you're right.
You might see a classic version.
And Mario, and I agree with you. This is expensive R&D for the protocol droid. Are we going to see more protocol? Oh, absolutely. But it may not be that attack. It could be the Hoth protocol droid we saw in the background, right? It could be the protocol droid that was seen in season 1 as a school teacher, because the Mandalorian, loves.
Oh, best believe that's Obi-Wan. There's a protocol droid. Yeah. There's a protocol droid in Mando season 3. They'll make but it will be. This is Attack of the Clones, though.
It's Attack of the Clones Brandon, and it's Attack of the Clones protocol droid. So are we going to see more protocol droids down the street? Oh, I will not disagree with you. Yes.
Evangelium in the chat says 000. That would be sick, dude. If they actually went through for the comics and did 000.
That's the assassin droid, right?
That's the assassin droid, yeah.
Oh, there you go. As a toy for exclusive, just to kick us in the balls, right? Just to piss us off.
Yeah. There you go. It's going to be the black Boba Fett all over again, man. That's
there
what
you go. It'll be a black assassin droid that you can only pick up at San Diego Comic-Con with exclusive codes just to piss you off, right?
Exactly.
They'll do it. I get it. It's not the only protocol droid. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
But it is the only C-3PO from Attack of the Clones. And since they're just going balls deep in this line, that's why it's going to be a grail. People are going to be like, I want this. All my Attack of the Clones. And guess what? You've got an R2 to companion with him. So it's dude. Versus some
Mario, so you didn't
droid?
grab any of the pre-orders from any of the
nothing.
Damn, dude. Okay. Did you pre-order, Anthony? You pre-ordered Did you pre-order C-3PO?
I have R2 and I have C-3PO.
Okay, you're good. Because you know better.
I can still get him. I know where he's still available. So
there's still options, but far and few between though, compared to just going to Sideshow.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like shit, they're gone. What the fuck?
Yeah. Like I told you, I didn't pre-order the Clone Trooper and the Clone Pilot, so I'm gonna have to chase my local comic book shop who doesn't reserve a pre-order. He always gets a few from sites Torpedo Comics, and he gets them. So I have to play that chance game. Now, am I never going to get them? No, you'll be able to get them. It's just more of that convenience factor, and I don't want to. Well, here. Look, I'll paint a nasty picture. What if they're completely, as soon as they start shipping, they're sold out everywhere, and now you're at the mercy of the secondary market. And then probably wouldn't be a grail price from the beginning, but it'll be probably a chase price, maybe $100 more, and that's, to me, that sours the experience.
Danoby, if that happened to me, I think I would reevaluate my collecting habit when it comes to Star Wars. I think that would actually break me to reconsider going back to original trilogy only and just stop.
Do it, bro.
You know,
don't pull an Anthony. You're like, I'm done. Oh my God.
Hey, listen, I'm not done collecting. I just looked at dude but listen, man, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy to try to chase everything that has a Star Wars name on it.
Everything.
I'm sorry.
I know.
It's too much. It's just too much. Because then what are you going to do with your Marvel, with your DC, with your one-offs, with your 80s?
I rotate, bro. I rotate.
With your fucking Mondos, with your whatever else you get, you know?
Rotate.
Rotate my ass.
Did you hear me bitch last week? Where are my friggin' module cases? I need more space.
I heard the tale, man. And listen, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I too was like you guys when I was like, anything that says Star Wars on it, I buy. And I was like, holy shit, I can't.
Yeah.
If I was plugged from the Matrix,
no, you're right. I have
to, bro. I took that red pill, that blue pill. I threw that shit in the garbage.
I'll be honest with you. Do you know where I'm going to cut some of the fat for Star Wars? Because you're right, I cannot, but I do love Attack of the Clones. Do you know where I'm going to cut the fat? Kenobi. I'm not.
Fair enough.
That's
dude.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll probably get Vader, of course.
I will probably get Vader because there's two SKUs for Vader, so two SKUs shit sits. Everything no, the Grand Inquisitor.
No, I get you on that one.
audio animatronic Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, no. It's no. I'm fine. So there's Riva, no. Grand Inquisitor, no. Audio animatronic Kenobi bad sculpt, no. So to me, that's savings there. Vader, yes. I'm not going to chase him day one. I don't. He's too skewed.
No, but it's Vader. It's cool. He's unmasked like that.
Yeah,
it's neat,
and he's already low stock as well.
Yeah,
you know, so for the original.
Think about it for the regular one,
yeah. The deluxe is, but it will go soon enough.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not as much as I want. I'm not doing any of the quarter scale Boba Fett's. You know what? I'm probably going to sleep on Axe Wolves and Koska Reeves, to be honest with you. I'm really and Fennec Shan is probably she'll be the new Lando Calrissian that may sit for a while. I'm past anything. Yeah, a lot of where most of the community are chasing the book of Boba Fett. For me, it's easier to sleep on that versus Attack of the Clones. I'm more sentimental towards the Attack of the KX Enforcer droid. I actually pre-ordered 2 of them through Sideshow. I'm like, I'm not sleeping on a K2SO. Everybody did the first time, and they all regretted it, and they did it again. KX Enforcer droid. The minute that showed low batch, I'm like, oh, F this. I want 2, and I'm gonna hack it. I'm gonna USB hack it because I want those suckers lit up. I'm gonna run a little wire, and they're gonna be lit up in the same sense as my Dark Trooper. So droids, Star Wars droids are always going to be grandfathered into my collection. No questions asked. But do we need another Mando? Best car. See, I'm still on the fence about that one. Do I need Pedro Pascal's beautiful head sculpt? Looks like him.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yes.
That's him.
Face like a slapped ass, man. That is not like he just is crying. He's all mopey. I'm like,
he's all.
Well, it was an emotional scene where that head sculpt was captured from. Man.
I guess.
No, that's a fan. To me, that's if they honor the
not for me
prototype. That's a fantastic head sculpt. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
But
100.
But here's the thing: will that end up on next year's BOGO Spooktacular?
Of course it is. They're going to put out a season 3 announcement for Mando.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, do I need him to sit on the floor and play with my N1 Starfighter when that arrives? Or am I going to need this guy? Because we're getting the N1 Starfighter.
Yeah.
So am I going to...
You're not getting
Dude, we already have a fucking... look at Sideshow. It already shows Mandalorian and Grogu set coming soon.
Yeah. So...
We're already getting something different. Like...
So
I mean, getting another one.
Yeah, I know it sounds like I want everything, but I'm actually, for me, I'm actually cutting back a lot of the fat. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't need Quill in the Blurg, but I will be buying just Quill single because I already have the Mando. Ahsoka. See this one here. She could be the next BOGO Ahsoka Tano, just like her Toon counterpart version.
She will. I think she will. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's gonna look different
on his DX.
Yeah, and she's gonna look different, bro.
Yeah.
Later on, on for her own show, she might be different enough to where they'll put out another figure just the same way they did Mandalorian, and this one will sit.
The only thing she has here as a purist collector is that this is her first on-screen appearance outfit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
She has her own show. So who's to say she's not going to have her own?
Oh, she's not going to dress like that.
Yeah.
She'll look different.
There you go.
Not to mention, didn't they say they're doing 3 Ahsokas for her show?
Yeah.
Timeline.
Yeah. Well, technically, we already have one already. So
that's the brand of the Clone Wars.
But that's a third Ahsoka. That's one of the Ahsokas that's going to be shown.
Right, but it's branded the Clone Wars. See, Hot Toys all about making that dollar, bro.
Yeah.
So you think they'll just reissue the same one, like they did the Death
they'll
Trooper
make it look like however she looks on the show. The Clone Wars Ahsoka does not look like anybody.
Yeah, meaning if she goes through costume changes, you're absolutely right. You're gonna get multiple versions of Ahsoka. What happened? That's what killed the value of the 2-pack Boba Fett. Was he started wearing the clean armor, and then you created conflict with decisions, right? And you're like, well. The Boba Fett in the clean armor looks cooler than him coming out of the Sarlacc pit and looking all raggedy. So that could put, that's actually not a bad. It's actually not a bad theory, Anthony. That's actually pretty damn good. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Here's my points, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
We'll
pretty
see
damn
what
good.
happens, man.
You get some points.
We'll see what
Yeah, that's
happens.
pretty good. You're pretty good. We got, it's just because it's Christmas. I'm not,
Oh, yeah, that's what it
Always
is.
in a
Right? Then
good
I get
mood now.
double points. Christmas.
double points.
I get the BOGO.
The buggo.
I know, right? No, but really though, I think so.
Yeah.
If they say that she's gonna have 3 different, they said 3, right?
Yeah.
I think, right? So what, a young one, a modern, and what, maybe a little bit older?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they meant.
Her current one and a younger one, and then I don't know if we're gonna get one where she's more mature in the Clone Wars or
Like an in between, like Rebels or something.
Possibly, yeah.
Like, so she's young Anakin Padawan, and then she's Rebels, and then she's Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do that, and whatever she looks like on screen, those are 3 different Ahsokas, dude.
Yep. So
Hot
pretty
Toys
much,
will do it.
I think there might be a good chance that the same one the Sideshow has out right now, that particular version could possibly make it to live action as a younger Ahsoka.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that might be it. And then the Rebels version, I can see them doing that. And then modern as she shows up in her show.
Bro, I still see a freaking Luke Skywalker from Book of Boba Fett coming out with a little backpack and a Grogu, and a better looking CG face.
That extended sequence. Was it you, Anthony, or is it Nate that said that when we get the deep fake Luke, the only way you're going to be able to pose him is with his cloak covering his face?
That's probably Nate, but I kind of agree with that. He doesn't look quite. He's screen accurate. Hot Toys is good at that.
Yeah.
But the screen accuracy of that deepfake was just not that great. He was miles better in the Boba Fett one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I see them giving us something like that.
Yeah.
I see a Book of Boba Fett freaking Luke Skywalker coming. It's Luke Skywalker, bro. He's like Iron Man. At least here in America. Just print them out.
Yeah. 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 It just sucks that there's multiple SKUs of Luke, and Snowspeeder Luke was he part of BOGO? Buy one get one. Snowspeeder? No, he wasn't.
I don't think he was.
Snowspeeder Luke.
He might have had like $5 shipping or something.
Or
but I don't think
yeah. I know he's under double points right now, but yeah. This guy's gonna sit for. He got pushed out. He was supposed to.
He's delayed.
He got delayed.
Yeah. Ahsoka got delayed.
Yeah. Let's hope his timeline doesn't cross paths with Bespin Luke, because if that's the case, this guy's gonna.
There's an exclusive on this one too.
Yeah, there was. There was.
Yeah, so that's what is that 3 or 4 SKUs now?
There's 3 different SKUs on this one. 4 right there. There's 4 SKUs. Yeah, that's why I said he's gonna sit. I wouldn't even worry about him.
Yeah,
I didn't pre-order him. I'm like not with that amount of SKUs.
Well, these were I'm an exclusive collector too, man. So especially the ones that were timed, those are the only exceptions where I've actually made a pre-order. Just to get the exclusives that were timed. So I went ahead and jumped on those.
This one was not timed up. Jesus, 4 SKUs.
It was. This was timed.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was timed, and now it's actually brought back.
Oh, damn. They're never gonna get this guy's gonna sit forever. I'm gonna call it. He's gonna sit forever. I would say the Bespin Luke will probably sell first before this guy. This guy, no one's gonna.
The only argument to this Luke though, is this is Luke's official return when you minus the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Because they did Luke so wrong in those movies that they completely think about it. This dude, let's not forget, man, that the world kind of blew up when Luke showed up at end of season 2. Not just in the Hot Toys world, like throughout the Star Wars community. Hell, even people that don't even watch Star Wars. Wow, Luke Skywalker's back. And they're like, well, no shit, he was in the sequels, but that's crickets because he was garbage. Like, he came back the right way. He was a Jedi Master, So I see a lot of people wanting this Luke because, dude, this is his final form. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, he's in his prime. He's ready to roll. Like, this is badass, especially after the sequels. So the only downside, right, is that it's this kind of the CG-ish. It's okay looking. I don't think people are going to mind that face, though, that much, to be honest with you. Because of what he represents, I think it's still going to sell, but it's going to sit with them 4 SKUs, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not going anywhere. Then we have the granddaddy here. This is it right here. I did not pre-order this. I'm assuming no one on the panel pre-ordered.
Once it blue screens, I'll grab it.
Yeah. That's it.
It's an instant, like it comes home.
Yeah.
But I'm just chilling.
I have to wait.
I've got it. I have it pre-ordered, with a comic shop. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to wait. I'm going to wait on that. He'll come home. I'll end up buying him, but I'm not. To me, there's no sense of urgency right now. There's no low inventory batch or anything. Especially for what was he $400 or $345? So tax and ship, he's going to be close to $400 easy. Oh yeah, for me anyway.
So you badass.
It looks great. The stitch and everything. It's a big major improvement. The deluxe version, you get the broken head sculpt, and then you get the Dagobah themed base. So, yeah,
which is odd because the Dagobah themed base is just generic with a piece of plastic on it. You'd think that the Bespin one there would be the deluxe. That's more elaborate, and it lights up, I believe. I could be wrong. You may have to look at the description. I thought that base lit up.
It looks like the recycled base from the Scum and Villainy Boba Fett.
It does, but
it does look like it. Yeah, I have that Boba Fett, and it has the same base.
With the trees in the swamp.
The other one.
No, the Bespin base. The freezing chamber.
Oh, okay, that one there. Okay, that one there.
Yeah.
But you may have to see in the description if it says it's lit up. I don't know if it is. I think it is, but I always forget this shit. So
light up function for the collectible base can be operated by USB.
USB power, nice.
USB power. There it is, right?
So
USB connecting cable is not included for the product. Micro USB cable is required. Okay, so I have that. So yeah, I'm gonna have that lit up. To me, that's gonna look cool.
Yeah,
lit up all the time. So that'll be.
That's how I got my Empire Vader. That gantry, that Bespin, that's just lit up, blinking, and it's cool. Like you love having stuff like that always on.
Hooded Giga. Okay, Chad, look. You can hide that CGI face. That's people are just gonna cover it. It's gonna look so whack. You're gonna cover him.
I agree.
Oh my god.
Oh man, it's the same sculpt as the Bespin one. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
It's all good. The one thing I like about Luke's is all his heads and hairs are swappable.
For the most, for the most.
No, they are.
Don't have it.
They all are.
Well, they all are. You swap it. They've
you
kept
swap
them
a New Hope.
Oh, you're right.
You swap a New Hope of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, everything. They've kept them all modular and in unison. It's pretty cool. If you want to do something different, like I could take that sand swept hair, that I have from Jedi Deluxe and put it on my New Hope.
Theoretically,
right on. Yeah, just for
Well, that's pretty.
I like having that mix up like that. It's cool.
Yeah. My God. All right. Well, I am running tired, folks. This is my God. We're going in 2 hours and 37 minutes. Hopefully, it's we did our part here. Brought a little bit of Christmas cheer to the folks listening and watching. And thank you so much, folks, for hanging out on Christmas evening on this wonderful evening run with Guess Mafia. Make sure to follow him on his channel. I'll make sure to put the link in the video description below. And please, when you get a chance, go visit El Profesor on his channel. Help him hit the 1,000 subs. Get him going here. Great contributor to the community. And any last thoughts for Christmas and this year? Just talk about the year really quick. Let's start off with you, Mario.
Been a hell of a year, man.
Okay.
Oh, been a hell of a year, and then it's going to be interesting to see what next year holds with the new rules that are in place.
Yeah. How about you, Anthony?
Well,
any final thoughts for the year for 2022?
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
But no, look, it's been great, dude. Thank you for the invite as always, and it's been a great year. It's been a great year for, I think, for all of us and everybody in a part of the community. And it is Christmas, man, and so it's nice to be able to do these things. Like I said, I did it this morning with Mario. We streamed because like I myself, and I've been reading a little bit the chat. It's hard to multitask right now. I'm tired, but there's people in the chat, man. They've been alone this on Christmas, or they're not having the best times, and that's same here, man. I'm alone. So it's cool that we can all come together, hang out, show support for one another, getting a little little squabbles and stuff, but it's all in good fun. You know, it's just we're all here together having a good time. So yeah, man, I'm glad, dude. It's been a pretty badass year, and look forward to next year, man, and seeing the community grow. And who knows what we're getting, man. Hot Toys, that's a whole nother game, bro. With Sideshow, like I said, hold on to your butts, man. It's gonna be wild, but it's gonna be fun, man. We're all gonna be here, man. We're gonna be we'll be our own support group. Or sometimes the opposite. We'll be like,
we're gonna be sharing the pain.
Yeah,
sharing the pain of
the
of the pre-orders that have been missed, and
100%, man.
No, this is fun. In fact, I got to spend Christmas evening with the audience, and then you, Mario, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to Anthony, and then I'll start my shenanigans come 2023. I'll talk about. I saw the comments. I'll talk about in-arts. Don't worry, right? There's 3 Grail challenges. Right, don't worry. Let's wait till Big Bretta gets his review out, because I did reach out to him before I started my live stream. He has not gotten his Joker yet. He does not have his in-art Joker in his hand, so I'm gonna wait. Yeah, he doesn't have it in his hand. It's en route.
Yeah, he said he was supposed to receive it, I think, yesterday.
So he's my control subject. I'm gonna wait for him, and then I'll talk about in-arts first of the year, January. So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. And then we'll go through the Grail challenges, because you guys know about the Grail challenges, right?
He who finds the Grail must face the final challenge.
What final challenge?
3 devices of such lethal cunning.
Booby trap?
All right, I'll leave it there. Booby traps. I'll leave it there.
I wrote down my books so I wouldn't have to remember.
I love that. I love that. Oh my God, it's so good.
I love it.
So apt for this discussion too. But
there you go. How do we end this? No more pawns. I love the milkshake. Let's end this on the milkshake.